Why is that thing not on?
He's going to tinker. He's going to mess with stuff.
Look at that tight booty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like sleeve.
You wouldn't get any here.
Yeah, that's...
Why are you looking at me?
You're making a bunch of noise.
It's just a little snack.
Just a little snack.
Just a little
Just a little
snack.
sugary snack.
Battlefield 2042.
I'm getting them ready. You have no time. Pete's on the verge of death. Gus is asleep. Steph and I are just going to get drunk.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, Will's here too.
I'm happy. I'm going to have a good weekend.
It's just a little snack.
Hey, I'm Nick Boyd. I don't have anything stuck in my teeth. Welcome to Back Pocket, live from the LokiCat studios. It is Thursday, the 24th of June. Tonight on the show, 8 people. And I'm joined by 4 of them right now, one of which sitting right next to me. My goodness, Stephanie Bendis.
I'm going to do my best to pull focus from you all episode.
It worked.
In your shot, and you can't get rid of me.
I know. Can't move chairs.
No.
And
I'm Gus, and I got all the room in the world over here. Don't get too close. Don't get too close. Don't get too close, because I wouldn't get too close too.
Peter, who smells bad, and that's why he wouldn't get close to me.
There you go.
Yep, there you go.
Is that true?
No, Pete smells great.
Does Pete have good musky odors?
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I have that pheromone
The
thing.
pheromone.
Where, like, no matter what happens, he smells good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're programmed.
I'm programmed.
to like his scent.
I'm your particular kind of stank.
Yeah.
We've already,
Yeah,
like,
baby.
split the show in half. In the sense that you two were, like, discussing, what does Pete smell like? And over here, there's, like, a pantomime.
Someone else that I would love to smell, but I've been told that I'm not allowed to, is Little Will on the ones and twos.
It's me, and I had a great weekend. Thanks for
Yay! Oh, good. Are you wearing the same jacket?
asking. From the start of the show, yeah, but I changed halfway through last week.
Wait,
so
is
You would have noticed.
Is that
You would have paid
the
attention.
jacket? Oh, no, it doesn't have the fur.
no,
No,
this is
no.
the,
I thought that was the MIG in
No, this
cigar or tobacco.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Oh,
if we bought-
I have that.
Do you?
I have it right next to
Go.
I'm not wearing it.
yeah.
I think I'm going to get one. I feel left out.
The same one?
Yeah.
But that's the tobacco one, and I really want
Isn't it nice?
Can we get, were there any other options? There was
there's
camel,
white. No, there's
industry.
like a camel
Sponsor
white.
us.
camel white.
It was like a grey white, kind of very, very
Look how
light.
mad
It looked
Nick
too
is about
silly. It looked far too close to the wool on the collar.
Yeah, right.
It was weird.
Camel is
You'd
brown.
probably pull it off, actually. It would look cool. It was just a weird Zambino camel. I don't know.
I was just thinking that. I was
Yeah.
like, I bet Nick would look awesome in it.
Yeah, anything that I'd just look at and be like, no, it's strange.
Level B says Little
Give it to the
Will.
strange man.
Level B says Little Will, the little snack.
He is a little snack, and I
Yum,
can
yum.
say that. I'll tell you what else I could say. I could say we should have really planned something for this, because it wasn't until we saw, I believe it was Lord Phoenix in the chat.
Yeah.
Who was
Or
subscribed.
Phoenix Line? One of the Phoenixes.
Yeah, it was Lord. Wait, was it Lord Phoenix? Lord Phoenix is someone. Lord Phoenix is a name. Was it Lord?
Yeah,
Phoenix?
Lord Phoenix also exists.
It is.
There's multiple
Yeah.
Phoenixes.
Subscribe for 12 months, which
Hell yeah.
means this channel has been live for 12 months.
Must.
It makes sense because our first episode was with the Xbox press conference thingy.
Which
for
would have been
E3,
June-ish.
Yeah.
Which would have been around this time last year.
I know, it was in July, though.
Yeah, but it was your birthday.
it?
It was like your
It was your
birthday.
birthday.
24th of July.
Yeah.
So,
Which I
you
guess
must
is the 12th month. Oh,
The
so
12th
it's
month of this, they've subscribed
Yes.
for 12 months.
yeah. So we're not at a year yet. We're at a year in exactly a month.
Yeah,
Your
correct.
birthday.
Yes.
So we need to figure something out. But I have to insist it's got nothing to do with Gus's birthday.
No, it'll be like the
I'm still confused.
Make Steph do it. So it's like because it's the 12th time they've
Equations,
it's the
imagine
12th time they've
equations.
subscribed, but they subscribe for the month following. So it's 12 times they've subscribed, but we're not at the end of this sub will be when we turn 12.
It's
months.
like how some
Months.
people have the Pigawali hoodie, but most people don't.
Yeah.
And we still, 10 minutes later, it's still like, I don't quite understand how that works.
Or
It's like,
again-
yeah, never mind.
Yeah, or failing that, Steph, if you're just as confused. It's leap year? Leap year? It was a leap year.
a leap year.
Must have been to do with a leap year.
Leap year.
There you go. Blame it on that.
Got it.
I think Pete is wrong, says Gazra. Fuck off.
Unless Lord Phoenix could have been subscribed to us when this was...
Didn't exist.
Did we get
Yeah,
Was that what
we
it was?
rebranded. We rebranded.
Possibly people jumped on and just like, because there were a couple of people who sleuthed around when we were getting everything ready and were
Freaks.
like, who discovered that stuff and then like maybe jumped in early before we had a reason to subscribe when we didn't even say subscribe and they didn't.
Yeah. All right. we are here for another show. It's a good show tonight. There's lots of people involved in this show.
There is.
You'll meet them over the course of the show, so that's exciting. But the seating arrangements are not the only thing we're shaking up. We are also shaking up the format of the show for today. Or maybe the run order more than the format, I would suppose.
It's format. Did you guys ever see the game show The Wall? The rest of the show is going to be that, where we make shapes and a wall moves and we have to duck through the holes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that's the idea.
Was that the only bit with that show, was make shapes to get through the wall?
I don't think there was an end game that was different. I think it was just like the
survived
shapes
as many
get
shapes
smaller
as
and
you could.
harder.
Yeah,
That's just like one Takeshi's Castle mode.
Mini game that they did
Yeah.
for a whole.
that Channel 7 have turned into.
Yeah.
That was also kind of the premise of Muscle March, one of the greatest games to ever hit
What
the
is that?
Wii.
Muscle March?
All the men running in a line doing poses.
Oh,
Nice
right.
muscle,
Yes,
all that
yes.
stuff.
Nice
I think
muscle.
that's just
Nice
as I turned
muscle.
up to Good Game. Everyone was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
making that in joke, and I'm trying to be like, just get to know everyone. And everyone's like, nice muscle. I'm like, thank you.
You've been working
Just quickly, what happened to Tag? Talking about like shit shows that were based around one thing. There was a show that was like a couple of months ago. They're like, it's just Tag, and we're going to run around arenas.
yeah.
And it was one of those things.
It's on
remember
free
it.
to air?
Yeah, totally. That's what
Bit
we're
like
ripping
souped
on.
up tag,
It was
right?
souped
Like
up tag running around like Nerf arenas and stuff with a crowd and everything like that. And they were like, it's going to be the next big thing. And it was one of those things that went for longer in its commercial running, like running commercials, than it actually
Yeah, it
went
was
to
on
air
there.
and like.
It was like most Channel 7
Yeah,
shows. They
wow.
get
Yeah,
cancelled.
the holy
before the
moly
time.
and all that stuff.
Oh,
Throwing out the
shit. We were one of them.
Bring it back here. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them.
It's less.
Fuck them. It's less effective when we've got very minor changes to angles. Holy moly. Did that last?
I think it ran a season, but I don't think it could survive another.
What was it?
It was mini golf.
Mini golf.
There's a big one.
Just mini golf on TV?
Yeah,
With
but
celebrities
done with, like
and-
huge spectacle, and like they had mini
cool.
games that
But
actually.
was it like, were they pairing people up with their ex-girlfriends and then they had to repair their relationship? by
No,
the end?
that I would.
That was
They were-
that was the second half of the show.
I
It
feel
was like
like
the
every
winners.
re-
Then
every-
the holes changed for the second part of the show.
Don't say that, Peter Burns. Oh my God.
Nick knew where I was going well before Steph did.
Was that intentional?
Yeah.
People make intentional innuendo because for me it's always by accident.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, totally though. Yeah, you want to sink your wood into a new hole. That's what we're trying to say. Okay. Holy moly, hosted by Rob Riggle. Speaking of someone that I'd like to.
So he
sink some
came
wood
across
into.
from the US.
What the fuck are we doing
so well
talking
on-
about this shit?
I'm just saying,
So he
people
can-
are interested. This is why people tune in.
No, the reason it was interesting and Steph found it funny is because like they tried to incorporate like Takeshi's Castle-esque stunts in the
Right.
courses.
Okay.
So,
So
like,
it
hit
wasn't.
up there.
It wasn't just watching people play mini.
No, it was like
No,
hit
no,
up
it
the
was an awesome
giant
course,
like
yeah.
iceberg course and then run up a slippery slope to get to your next putt and that sort of stuff as well. Like, it looked good in terms of spec.
Yeah,
It looked better than
cool.
I
tag.
suppose,
Fuck you,
Cool
I
tag.
suppose good on anyone who throws something at the wall and sees what sticks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another great idea for a show though. So
Which was also the final phase of the getting back together with your
Yeah,
ex.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Good. Welcome to the show, everybody. I think we've sufficiently wasted your time before we start talking about video games. What was I talking about? That's right. We've changed the format of the show. We're now a golf show. We're going to push the what you've been playing towards the end.
Yes.
Because we have an interview with some game developers that are very tired because their game has just launched and it's very successful and it's worldwide successful. Lots of people have been talking about it and it's so successful that we have been loving playing it. So we're going to play a little bit now and then we're going to talk to them. And that game is Phantom Abyss.
in a segment,
We like to call
Oh.
Phantom Abyss. Very good gameplay. Brought to you by the developers of Phantom Abyss and Avexia, who presents this segment. How you doing, Avexia? It's been a long time. We considered cancelling this bit, but then we went, nah, you've paid for this. I don't know what camera I'm on. This one. We definitely want you, we want to give you your money's worth, so we put you at the top of the show.
Yeah. And Gus, you're going to play the first round?
I wasn't diving on the controller, but I was enjoying it so much that I am going to have a quick go of it.
He was diving on the controller.
was
We
diving.
couldn't tear him away from it earlier.
I'm going to quit the temple. This is a really great game. You mentioned it on the news, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Or sorry,
No, on our E3 special.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say we definitely talked about it on the show.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was one of my coveted, sacred three most excited things I was excited about from my excitement from E3, which
There you go.
stands
Well,
for Excited 3.
So much excitement.
And you had a reason to be, because we've all been playing a little bit of it in the past couple of days, and it turns out to be quite a rollicking good ride. It's a temple run game where you run through these sort of procedural made temples in first person, and you are running essentially against the ghosts of everyone else who's failed in that temple. In this case, 4 of them, phantoms, I should say, not ghosts. And the
Dust
idea
at your whistle, level 5.
I'm busy. I'm running.
I know you're in the middle of something, but
You
just
can
toot your
do it.
whistle.
You're good at this game.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll let you guys, because I'm going to play a little
Yes,
bit.
of course. We've all had a crack at it.
Yeah.
And all fell in love with it instantly.
It's got such great momentum to it, which I think is really incredible, but also procedurally generated, and you can only attempt the temple once, the particular temple run once, and if you fail, then you don't get to try it again. Is that
Yes,
right?
and when you complete a temple, then you are the only person on the planet that is ever allowed to have finished that temple. They lock
it's locked.
the temple.
Yeah.
So the temple stays open to people to attempt until it is completed by someone.
And you're failing. Oh, no. You're
But you
failing
see
ghosts.
but you see the phantoms of the other people who've attempted it before you.
And they also, I believe...
There's one now.
That's a dead man right now.
That's a dead man.
It's a dead man. Oh, that's dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
dark.
But it's great. It's so funny because you're sitting there waiting to find the moment where they inevitably fuck up. But also, you're trying to decide
Is it
whether
here?
you want to follow them.
Why are you doing, freak? Oh, no, it's jump on.
That's a jump. Oh, that was
My
so
God,
lucky.
Angus.
Did he
That was
die?
No, he survived that bit. So you at the top left of the screen, you see you've got a health bar, so you can take a few hits. It's not
Yes.
just like one and done, which is nice. I didn't realize that until I started playing and was like, oh, I'm dead. Oh no, I'm still alive. When I fell down into a hole, it was like, oh, just go back up and have another crack. So you actually get 3 tries basically.
You can do half hits too,
That's
I
my
believe.
nickname in high school.
Yeah, and the other part of it is you spawn in, and you'll see it just now when Gus spawns into this next area. Anyone who's completed the first part spawns in at the same time. It kind of resyncs you guys.
It's like, yeah.
at the top of the next round. So you can see the decisions other people made, and it very much is like sit back and watch and learn from other people's mistakes, which is cool. And when I started playing this and realized that, this isn't just speed your way through, it's consider where you're going and take your time. I was like, I wonder if there's going to be enough of a thrill that is going to force you to kind of
Well, I'm literally waiting for these phantoms to get in front of me at this stage because I'm
Yeah.
like, why run off ahead when they could, set off a trap? I will just quickly add, I believe they do. Oh, Jesus. I believe they do interact as phantoms. If they run over the floors that drop out, they drop the floor out under
and
them.
they also open the chests so
Yes.
that the coins are already sprung.
Yep.
And so the antidote to my fear of it being too slow is we've just seen spawn, which is from the second round you are pursued by a boss, by a giant floating head.
It's so terrifying. I was thinking the same thing because I was like, if I can just take my time with this, I have a real chance of solving this first go. I just won't rush ahead like these idiots.
Yep.
And then as soon as I saw that, I was like,
Okay.
But it's great because then it forces you to kind of be making snap decisions and keep that momentum going.
Which is where the
what
best-
makes it actually really fun.
Totally. There's also, if you're collecting coins, you can buy little perks, little buffs, things like, get an extra heart or jump higher. There's some interesting ones in there too, Pete.
There's some really clever ones. I had one where I could slow fall, which helped amazingly in
Oh,
this.
because you can kind of choose where you're going to land.
And you can take
You
full
can
damage.
you've got heaps more time to consider your whip. In any given moment, you fall off a ledge in the wrong way, and you're like, well, I can probably recover.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful.
That is useful.
And there's
Are different abilities available to purchase every time you?
it's random, yeah.
It's random.
They're randomized.
And there's 2, and then you can buy one, and then if you have enough money, you can purchase again, but it refreshes the 2.
It refreshes the 2, and it increases
And
the
it increases the
cost
cost,
each
yeah.
time.
My favorite thing about this too is from when I was playing is I love seeing my confusion about which way to go reflected in the phantoms around me who are also
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you see everyone kind of milling around a spot being like, left or right? And I'm like, I don't know.
I found that really interesting that these, what we're seeing are certain sections here that are pretty linear. It's go straight ahead, but oh God. Sorry. There are definitely sections where you need to go and get separate keys, and you
So there's
need
a corpse in front of you there.
There is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where someone.
Where you need to go and break left
unveiled.
and right and come back through different areas. So they do open up into, I would say, larger sections of temple that aren't just run down this straight hallway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like there is definitely fall damage, but you can hit a roll button. To
Oh!
Gus just did, but I think got hit by 2 things at once.
Yeah,
and
you
died.
rolled in.
I went through some spikes. So
Got 2 hits.
I'm now dead. My run or my capture, my phantom that's been captured will now run through that. I don't believe I'm allowed to retry. Like
I think you only get 1 try per temple.
Right.
Though what you can do is go, I failed this, and there's a share code, there's an individual unique code for each
Yeah.
temple layout, and you can go like, I didn't quite make this one, and then you can share it online, and people can jump into that specific one.
Right.
But
But you can't share it to yourself.
No, because
can't show it to
you,
yourself.
as Nick will do now, will just simply head back to
We'll
the
just
gate
simply
and-
change the inversion back
Yeah,
to default. It is down there.
It is.
Yeah.
When he goes through the portal, it'll just spawn a new one for him. So there's no, do you want to go and do this one?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
The bone whip?
The bone whip is my favorite whip. You can't afford it. It's lost in a temple somewhere, by the look of it.
Why is it your favorite whip?
So each of the whips, so on top of the shrines giving you abilities per run, the whips that you unlock by progressing through the game give you more stats to play with as well.
And-
so the bone whip...
That was my nickname in high school.
And debuffs, like
debuffs
buffs
as
and
well
debuffs,
sometimes.
basically. So there's
okay.
this bone whip in particular is interesting because it means you can spend your money, any money that you make. If you stand in water, you will recover health in exchange for coins. So you'll get half a heart for 50 coins,
So if he
which
picks
is
up these, he hasn't got it now, but if you've got currency, that can be traded for health by standing in water.
correct. Yeah.
Cool.
So it automatically does it. If you stand still in water, it goes, boom, I'll take that money and here's your health back, which is really cool.
Imagine if life worked like that.
Yeah, totally.
It's a wishing well.
So and then like
Oh, God.
and then it's like, well,
Got out.
the counter to that is that you if you get hit by anything, you drop every single coin you have. So you need to run back and pick it up. So if you drop it
Devastating.
on the move,
Yeah.
you basically have lost it.
Yeah, see, in that moment, it's just like, why are they all going up there? I
Yeah,
thought-
this is my favorite part where you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
people jumping up somewhere and you're like, what's going on? What's up there?
They can't
Yeah.
get there. Oh, that guy made it.
That guy,
Oh, wow.
What did they
Well,
do?
I
jump
think
on
if
that?
they get up there, they can do a little vault, like they might grab a ledge and do a little bit of mounting, and then your whip does have to reset. It has a bit of a cooldown, essentially.
Right.
So you can't
you can't
Spider-Man
just
your way
whip,
through
whip,
the
whip,
level.
whip.
Spam whip.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered doing that.
Nick, you're wasting precious phantom time. Go slide down the
there's
slide of
no
death.
phantom here. I'm in the first level. This is a take it easy time. I do want to point out, Reese Wild made a very funny joke earlier that I thought was great when we were talking about how only one person can complete a temple.
Yep.
And then once you do it, it's yours and no one else can ever do it. And he said it's like a video game NFT. And then he said non-fungible temple.
I love it.
Well done. Well
Nice.
done, Reese Wild.
Very good,
I'm
sir.
so glad because I've forgotten. I just think non-refundable and then it's fungible isn't a word. It's a stupid
I
word.
know, it sounds like a child's, like a slimy toy or something.
So this
fungible
bit,
tokens available
you
now.
should go right. Yeah, if there's ever a sort of a split in the path, and I think it's actually good that it's procedurally generated out of like tiles of level design that need to be reused and rejigged in certain ways.
Sure, yes.
Which
That-
is good. So you do go, I know what I'm doing here. To
There's a
degree.
sense of familiarity
I
that
hate
you,
this
that you
spinny
get.
thing.
Oh yeah,
it's
it reminds
easy.
me of
It's
Fall
easy.
Guys.
No, it
Just
spins
jump.
really fast sometimes.
Yeah.
And
So you had to go this way because there is a key there, and if you'd run ahead, you would have gone. Oh,
you hit a
Then you have to
roadblock,
go
so you have
back,
to run
yeah.
back and pick it up. Is it 3D Temple Run?
my
A little bit. Yeah, it's like that's totally
You're running in a temple.
the surface level take on it, and certainly what I thought. But it is a little more considered because you're not just auto running; you are running through a 3D environment, making decisions, and being chased by something, which is what encourages you to push on faster and faster.
I'm really happy too because I feel like a lot of indie games right now have been seeing like a massive, sort of success because of Twitch and whether or not a game is like fun to play or stream on Twitch. And this game I find like super enjoyable to watch as a passive
Totally.
spectator.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel like it's a good
got
game to stream, and I think it'll do well there.
Twitch legs.
And it's nice that by having that element of having the phantoms run around with you as well.
Yep.
It's a great game to watch someone play, but it feels a bit pointless if it was a single player game with without that extra element, because I do think it does add you're not alone in this temple.
Yeah,
or at
yeah,
least
yeah.
there's something quite, I don't know if it's
I guess it's like Dark Souls and the messages and stuff like that. It's like you're attempting
Yeah.
it by yourself, but you get a sense of the greater world and that you're in it with a bunch of other people who are kind of like suffering in the same way.
Pigamy says, is there fall damage? There is fall damage, yes.
Yep.
And it sucks. But if you roll as you fall, when you hit the ground, then you negate your fall damage.
It's quite a
And then
precise timing.
I guess the thing to spell out as well is the idea, or the long game you're playing, is at the end of each of these temples, which, as you'll see, these earlier ones at least, they're sort of 4 stages with 4 checkpoints.
There's three floors per component.
3 floors.
Yeah,
per
yeah. Like, and then there's a relic at the
Right, and the 4th one is getting your relic, and the relic is, I don't want to say currency, but you get that relic, you bring it back, you put it on a pedestal, of which I think there are like, maybe, it looks like heaps.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
tons.
your little hub that you will go back to every time has all these empty pedestals, and I guess by
Run, Schwarzkrieg!
that one.
And every time you finish one, get a relic, you put it on that pedestal, and I'm sure it does different things to how you continue through the game, but you're ultimately collecting a large amount of these to get to end game.
Yeah, I'm getting some Bowser's Castle vibes from those big things that like slam onto the ground.
Yeah. They're more terrifying thwomps.
Another part of what is beautiful about the loop of it is so after finishing 3 rooms, you then get the option to go and collect an easy relic. Easy, it's all quite difficult, but an easy version of a relic. Or you can choose to do another. You go into the caverns and you can do another 3 rooms and get a harder relic. And did it! And your pursuer gets more powerful with every single room that you progress through. So it becomes more and more challenging where these things get more and more difficult to encounter.
And we saw the challenge increases by the how often that enemy is attacking you, I think it said.
It's for this guy, it is like
Foolish decision!
for this guy, it's the amount of
gas
smoke bombs it throws at you. For the guy that chases you, who can move through walls, that guy just increases his speed.
He sucks.
He is terrifying.
Because that was the first one I encountered.
Me
And I was
too,
just in this maze thing. And then I just heard this noise. I was like, what is that? And then I just start seeing him come at me.
Is it a head
I was doing
or is it a...
I was doing
It's a
really
head.
well, and I was getting ahead of it, and then I kind of made a wrong turn, and I ended up falling back down where I was, but I didn't die from fall damage, and I was like, yes, and then I looked up, and it's like giant red scary head descended on top of me.
So again, part of the beauty of the
Extra
loop
jump
is-
in midair.
Oh, double jump! Holy
jump?
shit! I haven't seen that.
There you go. There it is.
Sick. Is this idea that you start with all these other people, and there's this feeling of like a camaraderie, even though they're ghost runs.
Yeah.
It's like there's something comforting about having all those other things there, and by the time you're at the end of a run where you're about to finish it, there's no one else left because they all died.
Yeah.
So you're suddenly isolated, and it feels even more terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice thing that like. I don't even know if it was like a planned part of the experience, but it's such a beautiful part of the experience.
And I can't emphasize
Well,
enough.
'cause you just-
Best whip sound ever.
Yeah. It's also you're just witnessing those little human moments as well, reflected like back at you from other players.
Yeah.
Watching
can't-
little avatars have moments of
Yeah.
indecisiveness, as
Yeah.
you said, or even watching them die. It's like they run into something, and I think they just disappear.
And you feel bad for them. I can't think of a single game that has included a single player game that has included some element of like, the ghosts or elements of other players in it that I haven't absolutely loved it. Like Death Stranding,
Straight behind
having other people like leaving
Where
things
is it?
for you.
Yeah.
So from the door, usually if there's a key, it's directly under, like
Opposite.
you turned around 180 degrees and went straight, but you'll be able to maybe jump down to it.
Yeah.
Ooh, careful. So that
it's
bridge
down there.
So
Yeah.
you can
It'll be
do
at the
something
left
risky
end.
for the stream.
Yeah.
So
You
jump
can do
in
something
a
cool, mate. Do
whip.
something cool. Jump off that.
Do something cool.
Do
cool
it,
thing
and you
to
can do a
do
roll.
is win.
You can do a roll. Nice.
I mean, that would
See,
be,
you
that
got-
would be
That'd be
pretty
over
cool.
And there you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Which again, I from just what we talked about earlier and saw in the game.
Double jump!
Right in the clacker.
Oh, Nicholas.
I thought it was.
Oh, I can stand in water because I've got the bone whip.
Yes.
Oh
No,
yeah.
you-
Hell yeah.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh,
You're
Oh,
slow
you're
motion. I've got the bone.
I've got the bow.
I'm just bone. Stephanie Ben Dixon?
no,
man.
I just started playing today. I don't know.
Well, I'm Peter.
Yeah, cool. I'll do a quick
Do
run.
something.
a
Do
quick
something
run.
aggressive.
I gotta-
Do something cool.
I gotta
Do
do
something stream. Do something cool, bruh.
I gotta go back to back to normal.
Yeah, what I think's cool is that like I'm surprised at how it breaks it up by having these little like choose your own paths, bigger tiles or bigger rooms that you have to make decisions in versus just run. But it is hard not to just have the energy to have that sort of fear to sprint at the beginning, which Pete's going to show us now, because
Yeah.
it just feels like it's a race.
I'll move as fast as I can. And yeah, there's like you can choose to. There's a nice part as well about after the third round to choose whether to go and get an easier relic or pursue a harder relic. It's like that temptation. Look how many people are in this one.
My God.
That temptation of like,
I'm
really healthy,
That
so
means
this
that
relic
this
might
one's
be.
probably really, really hard if this many people have attempted it and died.
I can't switch and run.
Will,
That's
you're on
wide.
switching duties.
So yeah, it's like you make that decision near the end of. Oh my God! I bumped into that guy. He stilled me midair.
Is that a phantom?
No. The floor moved. The floor was rolling there. So you.
I know
went
the
over
floor
it.
was moving, but I bumped into him. I swear I did.
Please, please. Oh my gosh.
Oh, right up the dick.
So yeah, you might be really healthy at the end of a third run. And it's like, oh, I'm in a really good position to actually pursue the next tier, but
Oh God.
but you know, maybe I just want to get the relic. For
Yeah, of course.
sake.
Do you risk it for the biscuit? Boulder of Light said, how many stages are there on each run? Like 5. It's like 4 stages.
So
They're
yeah,
big.
it's 3.
Three stages
Three
and
and
the
three
fourth
and
is
Three and the
is where it
fourth is
yeah.
get to the idol.
Which is where I would have got to that idol if I hadn't
got boned.
got boned.
I flew too close to the sun.
That's
I
okay.
just tried to
Fly
run.
again a little bit.
No,
No, fly one
okay,
more time.
one more time.
Fly
One more
one
time.
more
Okay,
time.
well.
The spike is the dick at the ground. So.
Yeah.
Hey Davidson, watching people play this on controller is awful. I played it mouse and keyboard, and it was
Oh, it's so much nicer with the
better, way better.
Oh.
Really?
But the controller isn't too bad. I feel like it's
What are the keys you press for the whip? Because I feel like that's such a
left
controller
mouse.
movement.
Left mouse.
and then right mouse is to. Oh, I can't remember.
I'm
Maybe
all
shift
for
to-
the controller on this.
Yeah, I like
it just
the
gives me
control.
the
I started
nice, like,
on mouse and keyboard, but
momentum
I
and-
like the
Yeah.
controller.
I definitely prefer playing it with a mouse and keyboard. I feel like you can whip your head around a lot quicker, and it's actually easier.
Oh, sure. To kind of
Because
get
like there's
a
you know,
sense of
do
what's
quick
coming.
panics and go, I'm going to fall down.
moving a joystick is only so snappy, and you know there's a little bit of like auto aim and assist with the with where the whip's gonna land.
Nice.
Am I meant to go all the way down?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And a cheeky roll at the bottom for
Roll.
the style. Oh, I love it. I just like that. I haven't played a first-person game with this level of sort of momentum and kinetic energy since like your Edge and stuff. And I really love that game. And
Yeah.
I think, you know,
And also, I feel like Mirror's Edge came out at a time where people weren't ready for it, but they're ready for this now.
people are in VR now. Like no one
Yeah.
can stick anymore.
Well, but also like the thing with Mirror's Edge, right, is
it-
like it was a bit boring.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like this sterile world that showed you the path.
Yeah.
Whereas this has, like, it was also like single player. Whereas this has the idea of like being a roguelike.
Yes.
Yeah,
is-
yeah.
It has a replayability, and I did see some people in chat say like, does it get
that other person was there.
Cutting it fine.
does it get? Will it be like boring once it's beaten? But because there's so many unlockables, so many different kind of whips, and there is kind of a narrative,
Yeah.
a little bit like at the very beginning of the game when you launch it for the first time.
That was not your fault. That was not your fault.
That was the PC freezing.
Someone says like the idol goes like a bunch of relics have been trapped in a thing, collect them all so I can get out.
Yeah,
and,
right,
and
yeah.
so it's like, well, when you accomplish that, something will happen.
You get
As I said,
you get a
it's-
bit of lore to drive you through.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time you come back, that big idol.
Every time I run through a trap, Gus is like, ooh.
No, that big idol does say you need to keep collecting these relics, which is, as I was saying before, I think it was like
It's like Stone Hades.
25 of them, it looks
Yeah, there's
like.
a lot. There's a lot. It was an intimidating amount of plinths.
But when I got my first relic, I got a new whip as well. Oh, Pete, that's good stuff. I don't know if that happens every time.
Yeah, look at esports.
Sorry, no.
Oh, Pete, that's good stuff.
Oh, that's pushing me towards it.
Oh god.
Oh, typical stuff there. Yeah, no, you really want to make sure you're on the front foot there. It's a team effort all around. Good work.
110%.
I don't know
would
if you get a
make-
whip or a reward per relic, but it felt like I did. Maybe when you bring one back.
I reckon you probably do.
Yeah, okay.
something. You definitely progress at least in the narrative. By the way, aside, maybe there's a segment in that for this show. Esports commentating just different things. Like,
I don't have that in
Games
me. I like it, but I
I
can't just
download
talk.
stock footage.
I can't-
Yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah.
esports commentate over it.
yeah.
We did that
There's
on Good
something
Game.
there.
We did
Chat.
that on Good Game when we had, oh my goodness, Fwiz and Chris Puckett. These like MLG,
right. Yeah, Chris
MLG
Puckett, yeah.
casters came in, and we were like, "Here's some footage of Warehouse Simulator, commentate."
Oh, yeah,
and here's
that's
some,
right. That was funny. That
and
was
they were
funny.
awesome. They were awesome. It's such a talent that
Oh,
Yeah.
Dolphin Pen said Miles could train us.
Miles could.
We get him in for a little
That's
training
true.
session.
I
Hold,
tried
crouch, and then jump.
I didn't like this one. It was hard. No, you didn't get it right there. You'll get a
I totally got it.
You'll get an air.
You didn't get it right there.
I nailed it. It did whoosh. There was blue shit around me. There was blue shit around me.
It was fine.
He did whoosh.
I
Did he?
whooshed.
Yeah.
My point was I struggled to do it right. Shouldn't
Don't
have.
touch me.
Don't touch him.
That's why we're apart.
Will, cut to yourself. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Do it again. Show me the whoosh.
Oh, I didn't do it.
To be fair, you didn't do it right there.
Yeah, that's true.
I really
yeah, that's
dragged this whole conversation running Holden and the whole
Quick,
whoosh.
Phantoms are getting ahead of you.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, no.
Oh.
Pre-whipped.
You pre-whipped.
That guy went clutch then.
Yeah.
The uncommon key. An uncommon key.
Yeah, so the keys, because I've collected a bunch of these
Yes.
and I don't really know what to do with
They're
them.
currency that if you make it out of the temple, you keep. And so when you lose a special whip, anything other than the default whip, when you lose it in a cave, it's gone until someone finishes it, or you buy it. Oh, this is the guy that comes through walls.
Yeah.
Oh
he's-
no!
He just comes at you.
Wait, it's gone until someone finishes it, but then what,
Finishes that temple,
you
or
get it back?
you can. Yes, you get it back.
You get
As-
so somebody finishes a temple and they do.
it's like it
you a
was
favor.
lost in the
Yeah.
temple, and they do you a
Found it and
favor.
posted
Yeah.
it back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like, hey.
But
You lose
also,
it. It has your name and mobile number on it.
I found you skewered on a spike.
Yeah, so that's one way to get it, or you can spend this currency back at base and unlock and re-unlock it, basically.
I just want to say that Rotfulol360
Yes.
said, applauded the social distancing because today was another day in hell for their lab. Them swabs just kept on coming.
Oh,
so
so they
said
were
stay
doing
safe. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic work. Thank you for doing that. That's amazing.
I'm skipping that.
I mean, we're the real heroes playing video games on this. But Rotfulol360.
Which is the noise you make when you get a swab.
Yeah, it's quite invasive. I've heard. Quite invasive.
I can spend it at this shrine. Oh no, that's a 200 shrine.
Whip
Maybe
the
it's
spinning
level-
blades, it stops them, says A. Davis.
What?
Whip the
Do the
spinning
devs even
blades?
know that? We'll ask them when we get
Like
them
the
on.
big sword ones?
Well, we did. Remember, I did see someone whipping it, and I was like, "Why are you whipping it, you
Oh, that's
idiot?"
just, that's
You
just,
said that, yeah.
Did I? That was my exact words.
yeah.
Only
I'll go
obstacle
around.
had it go under it. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Can't go under.
You're right, Steph. I do wonder if this is going to turn into
treasure around here.
just like like the Fall Guys, where it's like everyone was streaming this, or just like making for such a great spectator game.
Yeah.
Does that mean so much
It's
these days?
great to watch. I really enjoy it.
I think this was just
Whip
a
it,
different
whip it,
way.
whip it, Pete.
Whip it, Pete. Whip it.
It worked. He lied and then don't.
What a clutch whip.
That was me too. I was just like, yeah.
Stop. Don't you do it. Get risky. Oh, that's good stuff, Pete.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, one of the crazier runs I did, which we'll talk about when
I love this slide, man.
the
It's
devs
so
on.
sick.
Like, I was throwing myself around in my chair. Like, I was clenching and jumping and, like,
Clenching.
This is
All right.
I would say this is a very butt clenchy game for
well, that too, yeah. Everything, all things were being
So-
clenched. Whip it.
No, you
Slow
just
walk
slide-
under it.
Slide under.
Slow walk
slide
under
under.
Very quickly, Hungry Tree said, "Where can I get this?" It's on Steam, early access right now. I'll look up when it's actually coming out. I mean, we'll ask the devs.
Well, I think it's early access, but it's out for basically testing, and it'll be in an early access mode on Steam for about a year.
for a year, yeah. It's definitely out for a while.
But it's So this I got tricked. I was in the relic room.
He's coming.
And these jars can sometimes have like a poisonous gas in them.
right.
And I was just like, I'm just all up in their grill, and then I got poisoned and lost a whole heart in the final room.
Yeah.
For at
okay.
least a year. How is the full version planned to differ from early access? The full version will contain new rooms, traps, whips, zones, and additional gameplay features added over time.
It's an incredibly fleshed out game from what I've seen in, like, you know, about
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's already
a bad
dope.
thing.
3
for
hours
sure.
playing it. Oh, that's a droppy block. That's a thwomp.
Oh, so you can't latch onto the droppy block platform.
Yeah.
For the best.
Slim4477 said, I could see this on Quest. I would die.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
think
whipping, the falling, the rolling.
the roll. Yeah, you move too fast, I think, for this to be.
So this is
VR
now
friendly.
the second time this account has reached one of these, and it's like, go to the caverns and go and try the hard mode. I'm not going to.
Which would be at least 3 more sections to get to another relic, or Pete can choose to go forward from here into the next section, which in theory should have a relic.
It does. It should have a relic, and I believe.
Bonus heart. Bonus heart.
I'll take the bonus heart.
Yeah.
You don't know how to
Good
bonus heart.
choice.
And I believe the thing doesn't chase you in here. Oh no, it does. It totally.
No, it does.
Totally.
It's called devouring range, and it's just coming at
Moving
you.
at 3.5 meters
this
a
is the
second.
And this is
The
more of
scary
a
one.
go left and then go right and like unlock a door in the middle. It's quite a cool little setup.
Is it like that every time, or at least the time?
I believe this is always there's a left and
Nick,
a right.
what happened when you got your relic?
Oh, what a
prick.
dick.
Really? Is that how we do each other on this show? Yes. No, I've yet to get a relic. I've played quite a bit, and I always get slammed in that third area. That first time I was so close, and then that head just came.
Some of them you slide under, some of them you jump over.
Yeah.
So the angered god that I had shoots a laser.
I've
It was
had
great
him.
because there would
Or
have
it's
been
good.
maybe like 20 people down to the last room, and as it was just hectic, there was also just this red laser which would occasionally, and I wasn't avoiding it on purpose. Would
Oh,
come-
that's bad.
Oh no!
Oh, that was
That's just jump in the middle.
Oh
so
no.
unfortunate.
It'll be
I gotta
back
get
there.
over
There it
there.
is. There it is. You
No,
can,
you can just
you can
run
see
it.
it. You can see it, Pete.
Run
Run through the middle. Run
Oh,
through
can
the
you?
middle.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there were 20 people down to the end, and as you were running, occasionally a red laser would just come past you, and you'd be like,
What?
Oh man.
Just run.
Just
I
run.
don't have the skills to run straight with the controller.
So this should warp you back, I believe.
Yeah. I think you go through and you
You
interact
light a
with
bond.
this.
You light a fire.
So there's a red and a blue side to each relic door. And thankfully you don't have to run backwards because you are being chased by a giant. There he is. All
He
the
looks so
way-
small and
There is a
unassuming
giant.
here.
There he is. So now you got to do the blue fire.
I'll take my time. I reckon I can probably get this.
He reminds me of that. This scary dude reminds me of that angry dude from that Pixar movie about emotions.
Oh yeah, he does
You
look
know?
a bit like
He's kind of
anger.
blonde, but he's much scarier.
Do you know what's so funny about that? There's got to be at least 5 of those films. I'm like, the Pixar film about emotions. I'm like, that's all of them, isn't it?
Has anyone watched Luca?
No, I've heard average things.
No, I've heard great things.
All right, we've heard
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things.
yeah.
The keys behind you.
Yep.
Yeah, good work.
Oh my god, he's
galaxy.
getting bigger.
We're
He's
gonna
coming.
get an
He's
idol.
coming.
Blinky said any problems with motion sickness? I haven't had any.
I find the forward roll when you land
intense
to
feeling.
be it is very intense, but it only lasts for a second. So
Need to burn.
you just need to kind of mentally
stuff.
prepare yourself
Poke
for
top
that full
buttons.
360. But
Oh,
Game
shit.
we
You
played
need to whip a
last
wall on the
year
side, maybe.
that
Ready
like
to jump.
shipwrecked on an island to find your husband thing that gave everyone watching
Call of the Sea.
Yeah, it gave everyone watching.
I hope they
Yeah.
fixed that because that seemed to be just like a weird camera
Jesus,
choice.
I think I'm
Yeah.
out of the.
He's coming, Pete. He's coming.
Oh, look how close he is.
And he's so
Jump.
Go away.
He's
Watch
definitely
the-
coming.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
He's gonna come.
No, he's gonna just pivot to that wall.
Sorry, this is it.
That's so. Those are.
This is
falling
where the
floors.
music gets intense, and just keep jumping on that. That's the trick. Where have you gone?
I found it.
You did.
Oh baby, we got a relic.
Well, there's still the last room to go through.
Vroom.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
According to Nick, it's not.
no. This is the
No,
last.
I always
room.
died
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you still being chased?
I don't think so. I think this is like. Oh no, I am.
Congratulations.
No. Well, there's still a few little obstacles in here, and like you
My
could.
God.
Congratulations, little temple god and goddesses popping confetti.
This is like. It tempts you. It's like, oh, the first time I came in here, I was like, those platforms are definitely going to collapse.
I thought I didn't go for them.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't.
But I ended up risking it, and I got to biscuit. You get a lot of
Jesus,
I
Benz.
just
You
would-
get a lot
I
of,
would just go straight for it. I don't trust myself.
you get a lot of keys.
I'd
and
fuck
stuff.
it up somehow, man.
And so these are the keys that you can spend as a currency back at
But
base.
this bit here, I still doing this last little jump made my heart.
Yep. Ah,
I think that's the last little jump.
Whoopa!
what are
Where
you doing,
going?
Peter?
What are you doing?
Why? What?
Do it, Pete.
Oh my god, it's not worth it.
Come on.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, give me that.
Pro gamer.
Oh no, I couldn't.
Peter! Oh my god!
Okay, that's bullshit.
That was fun.
That's fucking bull. I'm gonna
Oh,
talk
and it's
to
a
devs
ball
about that. That
relic.
was ridiculous. Physics does not work like that.
Oh god, I just lost 10 years off my life. Holy crap.
Oh, man. God, that fucked it, didn't it?
What a clinch. Well done.
Good game. Good game. Well done,
Awesome
everybody.
game.
Nice work.
Should we talk to some developers?
I think so.
I believe that we should.
Are they on the line?
It
I'm getting thumbs up from Will.
looks to me like they're here. They've been watching, so I better get some goddamn praise.
Before we come to the
Yeah.
I do want to remind people in the post show, it's nothing particularly fancy, but I did take a picture of Will earlier in the show. And he was just making a very, like...
Old man face?
Well, he certainly wasn't enjoying watching our show, and I feel like we should bring that up with him later in the broadcast. All right, let's have a little chat with two of the three people responsible for this game from Team Wibby. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Josh Sanderson, lead programmer, and Motza Asher, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name well as well, the lead artist. Boys, how are you?
It's not bad. How you going?
What did I do?
No, you can correct him.
Correct me.
It's Motse.
God,
Hey.
fucking damn it.
He's actually called Niche Boy, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I even said Motza, and Steph looked, she was like, yeah, there's no other way to pronounce that.
I was so confident.
Thanks for coming on the show, guys. We normally do not dedicate this amount of time to a video game on our show and interview the developers unless we're being paid an extraordinary amount of money. And I think that goes to show how much we're enjoying the game. How are you guys finding that it's been received, and obviously all the excitement and hype from after E3?
Yeah,
It's so positive.
One at a time.
it's getting a lot of attention. A lot of attention. Like, I'm so happy with it. I just hope it keeps going.
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
as we were just talking about, it has that DNA to be really popular for a long time, I think. So it's very exciting.
I feel like what's awesome too is that, like, working in this industry, we play a lot of games, and it's hard to find something that feels truly original or not like a version of something you've played before. And this just feels like something that is kind of entirely new. How did you arrive at the concept?
Very slowly.
So
It
do
was
you
a
want-
very long process.
Do you want the boring story where we tell you how we analyzed like trends on Steam, or do you want the story?
Is that what you actually did?
Because that's
A
interesting.
little bit.
Yeah.
That was a little
So-
bit.
A little bit of market research into what people like, what they're playing. A little bit of, what else would we like to make? Because we always like to make something new that we haven't played before, and something that we don't think people have seen before.
Yeah, cool.
Well, that's awesome. I feel like it's a smart way to approach it. I feel like as indie devs, Australian devs, you want to try and take a stab at something that's going to be like fun for people to play, but also feels original and different. So I feel like you've kind of really hit the nail on the head there in terms of taking familiar mechanics, but spinning them in a new way for people. So just to clarify, each temple is procedurally generated. You can only attempt it once, and once someone has completed, it's locked forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I was going to say,
Absolutely clear.
was this the idea from the beginning, or was this an iterative thing where you're like, we want to make a temple?
Or was
run
that
game?
was that a metadata trend that
picked up on? Was that something that you built on, or you found your way to a pretty unique way of progression as you developed the game?
Actually, it stayed very close to the original concept. Like even when we did our pitch, it was just like looked very different, not as cool, but it was very much like the same. We actually feel pretty proud that we stuck pretty close to the exact same concept from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
all of that, one try, one person, all that's been there from the start.
What
Yeah.
I really like about that as an idea is that, and I was talking to the guys about it earlier, it's kind of like, don't take this the wrong way, not an original idea in that procedurally generated games do this all the time. Like, you play like Spelunky, I'm most likely I'm going to play a version of Spelunky that like no one else gets to play. But by putting the framework that like you get a reward for completing it, you are the only person, you've incentivized and really put value on the idea of procedural generation, which oftentimes can be seen as something that's like a way for developers to just create infinite but not bespoke content, and instead you've made it a reward system, which is so smart, and it's like such a clean hook that actually I'm sure there's a bunch of roguelike people out there going, why the fuck did we come up with it? Basically just a tagline.
So has it been equal parts praise and abuse from your other developers?
Actually, I'm kind of proud of both those things.
And what are your kind of perspective? Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, as much as the game is a lot of hard work to fit all the pieces together and make it work and not have a lot of bugs, there's still a lot of making games that's marketing.
Yeah, totally.
And what are your respective backgrounds in games? Have you worked on other games? How did you come to be a part of Team Weeby? And is this the first game that you guys have released, or was there something that came before it?
We actually have released a game previously to this one called Mr. Shifty on Steam as well. It was with a different publisher, with Tiny Build.
I love Mr. Shifty. You have a broom. It's like John Wick with a broom.
Yeah.
And teleporting.
Research is calling for.
At the time.
Yeah.
And did the success of that allow you to go forward with this one?
Mr. Shifty is a success, but not the kind of overwhelming success that would leave us, in a spot where we had heaps of money.
Yep. Not like this will be.
I don't know, tell your friends, right?
Are there specific and unique challenges when it comes to implementing something like the phantoms of other players in the game? Because it adds so much to it, but I feel like it's probably a kind of a quirky thing to have to add into the game from a game making perspective. I don't know that I don't make games, but is that something that's kind of more difficult?
Josh can definitely speak to this.
I had to figure out how to compress their data so that it's not just gigabytes of storage somewhere.
Yeah.
And we had to do things about so what happens if you have a whole lot of ghosts that are right on top of you? How do we keep the game visible and playable, but not lose that sense that they're near you? And we had to figure out how to really get that sense that they're always around, because they'll run off and you can't see where they are. So we had to figure out that, they need to leave little breadcrumb trails so you know that people are there. So there were a lot of things that we had to work our way through.
And I don't know if you heard while we were playing, but one of my favorite things in the game is this idea that you feel like you're surrounded by fellows who are suffering through the same thing as you at the start, and they get fewer and fewer the deeper you get, and then all of a sudden you are alone, and it's like, oh, my friends are gone. And that's such a cool part of the experience of diving deeper and deeper into a single run journey,
I feel like I like seeing the confusion when other players are figuring out which way to go, or watching what other players have done and deciding if they're going to do that as well. And I feel comforted by the fact that I'm not the only one who's kind of confused and indecisive.
Did you guys find in the development process, witnessing that, or as you said, Josh, putting that data into your game, that was a strange experience to start seeing players, ghosts of the game phantoms, I should call them, run through your game? Is it a weird thing that you all went, this is kind of fun?
I was super excited. Once we first got it in there, I was super pumped just to see it happening. And just the actual funny thing is, the thing you mentioned about that sense of loneliness, that definitely is a side effect, but it's a really welcome one. And our intention was all the other stuff: watch other people play, see how they react, and decide if you're going to follow someone or do the same thing they are, and also feel a sense of you're torn between a camaraderie and a rivalry.
Yeah,
we were trying to make, it's not really a race, but they do affect traps and get treasure. So it's just
Yeah, I think
Elements
that
of that.
the genius of them affecting traps and stuff, I think, is so smart. And Gus and I both had the same experience where when we started
Both
playing,
got an idol.
we
Wait, oh, sorry.
we
Again,
both sort of got the idea when we get into the game that we have to beat the phantoms, because whenever you see ghosts, like player ghosts in a game, like Mario Kart
it's
or
a
something,
race.
you're trying to beat them in a race, but then you get halfway through that, and I was like, I'm winning, and then I'm like, hang on a second, I don't know anything that's going on, and then you stop and let them go ahead of you, and then you're like, so that's where you died, and that's where you died, and you seem to know what you're doing, so I'm going to follow you.
Well, and to echo
Yeah.
that point, I just wanted to say, like, thank you, because I was saying to Nick earlier today, like, played a lot of games in my life, and there's a rare amount of times that I felt like a feeling in a game that hasn't been conjured up before. And as I was joking, first run after the tutorial, got to a relic. It was incredibly, like, heart was in my chest the whole way there. And a sensation I hadn't felt before was all those phantoms dropping away and reaching that end room, which quite honestly felt like I was experiencing something no one else ever had in that game. Obviously, we see that is, something that we see later on as you keep going back and getting more relics. But the first time you get there is like, that's a first for me that I had not felt that, I had that experience in the game. It's like winning your first battle royale or something. It was an exhilarating feeling that I just like, it genuinely, I felt like Indiana Jones in a tomb approaching the relic being like, what is going to fuck me up just as I get to it, because I've got no phantoms with me here. And again, I implore anyone to give the game a go. It's a cool experience to have that I've never experienced in another game. So yeah, thank you. It was cool. It was very cool.
Also, before we move on,
really cool to hear that.
I do want to point out that someone in the chat was like, hey, I turned up late, what's going on? And Ornaki1 said, oh, they're just chatting to some handsome game devs. So well done on that.
Look them up on Twitter.
Another thing that's great that we were just...
All right. Yes. That's coding muscle right there.
Yeah, he's up every night checking the survey.
Welcome to the gun show. Another thing we were discussing that's really great about the game in terms of pushing that sense of momentum and urgency is these kind of like, what are they, temple guards?
Us, man.
Guardians.
Guardians,
Yeah.
temple guardians, yeah. Because when I think we all kind of fooled into that, we're lulled into this false sense of security when we first entered the game that, oh, I can actually take my time with this.
You think you've cheated it by going, I'll just
Yeah.
walk behind everyone.
Yeah,
I'll
like
win
why
the
is
game.
everyone rushing? And then you hit that point where you realize you're going to start being pursued. Was that kind of a decision that came through playtesting as well, that you realized that like if it wasn't going to be a race, you needed something to be a driving force between behind pushing people so that they were relying on snap decisions and more likely to make mistakes?
Definitely. We did feel like once we added those Guardians, it did really create a lot of an extra intensity. We felt like we needed to make the game feel that impact, really.
Yeah.
It's like, it was great to have them in there. Like,
It's cool.
Once we got the first one in, we were like, we need more.
I would say it's cool because we experienced one that was like poison gas. There's like a laser one. There's one that goes straight through the walls. I do love the idea that it fits the aesthetic so much of like an Aztec type temple with these huge heads coming through. But who was it who was like, we need something to push people forward, like giant wall of fire, spikes, huge head that hunts you down. Like that's messed up, man. We've
Well,
that up.
in Spelunky, it's a ghost that chased you through it, but they've already got a bunch of ghosts in the game, so they're like, well, it needs to be the head instead.
There you go.
Was a game like Spelunky a big inspiration? Because obviously it's the same sort of like diving into temple style thing, you're getting chased, the roguelike stuff.
You want to know something?
You go ahead, Josh.
We do.
You want to know something really interesting?
I do.
played it.
For over a year, we didn't realize we were making a roguelike.
Yeah,
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
How?
It was the core idea was like a battle royale, as you mentioned. Like it was
Right.
much more about the sense of like you're going to be the only one to complete this whole arena. But like over time, we just found like eventually we're like, wait, we're adding all this stuff to really make me feel like the game you want to play, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, it's a roguelike.
That's so interesting. And then how did that affect like your choices moving forward? Were there things that you stripped out of the game because of that?
No. We actually kept a lot of we did a lot of variations to get where we are, but we've actually kept almost everything to try and it's just everything that's everything is there. We made is there in some way, like some
cool.
different arrangement from where it used to be, but it's all there.
They just changed on the submission for funding from, was it like
Battle Royale to
They just went from Battle Royale and changed it to roguelike, and then went to Steam, changed that. Done. Well done.
Because every publisher is making roguelikes these days.
Well, that's certainly, obviously you discovered it while developing it and playtesting it, but it's certainly like a big part of the hook that I can see that will keep me coming back is like, oh cool, I want to find new whips with new abilities. I want to go to shrines and see how I can build someone that a run that's going to feel overpowered. And we were talking about Binding of Isaac and stuff, where you feel like every time you add new augments to yourself, you start becoming this like super being, and it's like there's something so satisfying about that maybe next time you won't be as powerful, or maybe you'll be powerful in different ways. But it's like it keeps every run interesting, which is really cool.
And it's also
we have lots of plans to add more of those abilities and more of the blessings. So that's really high on the list because we think they're really enjoyable and they're really it's really interesting to watch all the combinations of them fit together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And again, commend you guys for like other games, roguelikes, where it's like, this is the different types of guns that spawn, or these are the different superpowers. You guys are like, we got a bunch of whips. We got some like hinky, cool, high-powered whips and stuff. So like, can I just say, like the noise when that cracks, I'm like, there's something there I like that I didn't realize I liked before.
I don't know if it's before we were tech checking before the show, and I was like, so that's like some BDSM stuff, and you're like, no, and it's the same thing. We didn't talk about this.
Well, our sound engineer went out and used a real bullwhip to get the best possible whip crack sounds.
Amazing.
So he'll be very happy to hear that.
It's awoken something in me.
And how do you find the game dev scene in Australia or Brisbane specifically? Do you find that there's like a good community around it, or are you do you feel like you're just forging a path on your own a little bit?
I think a bit of both, actually. There's a lot of like more of a trend towards mobile these days. But yeah, we definitely felt like we wanted to make something on PC, something you really just sit down and pay attention to. That's what that was one of the major things we wanted the most. We just wanted to give that a go. So in a sense, we did feel like we were forging a path because everyone else was going towards the mobile. But it was more natural. It was more like we just wanted to do PC.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Sorry, go.
There's a lot of good people in Brisbane making games, and we have a lot of friends here who have been really supportive.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Have you ever been tempted to take jobs overseas? I feel like a lot of the time we lose a lot of talent overseas, so it's exciting to talk to you as Australian devs still in Australia making something so cool.
It's nighttime for all of us.
There's been a lot of brain drain to other countries where they pay more and where they have AAA studios. But you know, this is my home.
Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, pretty much. It's our home.
What about the past year? Has it impacted the kind of process of pushing this game out at all, or did it not sort of change things too much for you if you were kind of just working on your own?
Actually, it didn't change. I actually live in Melbourne, so it's like when the first wave hit, there was extreme lockdowns all over here. The only thing that really affected was just social life. Like it was mostly business as usual. Just keep working. Let's stay inside every other hour.
Less going out and more just work.
Just you alone in your room with a whip.
Yeah. It's my idea of a lockdown. And just future plans for the game in terms of, obviously, you're in early access now. It's on PC, which is where it was built. The dream goal, obviously, get a lot of people playing it, but any more aspirations outside of just doing well?
I'll just make it really, like, all the things you mentioned while you were describing the game, like, add that extra content, like, there, and... Yeah, I have an idea I really want to put into for the ending of the game, but like that's something like much later.
A bigger head.
Double whipped.
Are you, and you probably can't answer, but are you thinking about putting in, because I love the art in it. I think it's got a really good balance of being detailed but instantly recognizable, or like the traps, everything you're looking at. It's like I'm not really confused about what I'm looking at, but it still feels like I'm in a very detailed, awesome space. Are you thinking about adding other biomes, like you're in an ice temple or there's grass, or are we sticking with the same sort of thing?
We do have other ideas for different biomes.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That was his idea for the ending, Nick.
Don't want to reveal anything.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if we only had the 3 for a long time.
Awesome. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
You heard it here first.
I feel like that another thing we were talking about was we were playing the game too, is that there's a lot of indie games that have found a lot of success because of live streaming on Twitch, and games like Among Us that were kind of smaller when they launched, and because they're such great spectator games, or games to participate in, they've just kind of like shot to the kind of top of success, the success tree.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's true.
Is that something that you considered, or does that change the way you kind of look to market the game when you think about it being a game that people would want to live stream?
We definitely like that people. It's like really watchable, and that was part of our process. Is kind of that any moment should be screenshotable, and I think that kind of plays into the idea that it's good to watch. And we definitely built those social elements so that people like really feel that reward when someone beats your temple that you died in. And that was definitely on our minds about streamers. So we would let them die on stream and then give their code out to their followers, and their followers can go give them their whip back so that they can play again.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
That's very clever. I think there's something about it. I think that it's because you're watching a first person action game that isn't a shooter that makes it feel really immersive even when you're watching it, like you're on a roller coaster or something. So you feel every drop and every kind of missed whip and like close call moment, like we were all just reacting to it every
Clenching,
time.
if you
Yeah, it's
Which is obviously like in the art and in the code of how everything moves and works around you. It's like
it's got great momentum.
You've put something really special together, guys. We love it.
I just wanted to finish up. You guys had a pretty big presence at E3, I feel like. Like, your game was pretty early in the Keighley showcase. I think you may have been in Day of the Devs as well. I feel like I saw the trailer a couple of times, and I saw and heard a bunch of people on like shows and podcasts talking about the game. And then when Ben appeared, who is the third member of your team, who I actually reached out to for the interview, and he was like, we all want to do it. And we were like, well, 2 feels like enough. And then you guys did like a random number generator or something, and he lost? Yeah. So that sucks for Ben.
That's such a nerdy way to solve that.
I know. So good. Slash roll.
But Ben, I did see Ben during an E3 presentation. What was that like, having the game on that stage, and how did you get that organized? What was that process like?
That was actually mostly organized through Devolver, our publisher. So they've been a really great help. Just supporting the game, getting it all out there. And I actually asked Baz that as well, like, how'd you put that together? He's like, I just stood there, made a video, and sent it off to Devolver to sort it out.
Yeah, cool.
That's great, man.
Well, having Devolver as a publisher is such a cool thing, because like the quality, like having them go, yes, that's something that we want to put our label on, because they are such a label of quality. So we're thrilled for you guys. We love the game. And even as we've been sitting here talking, I've seen people in chat saying, I just bought this and I'm going to start playing it tonight. So hopefully it's a huge success for you. And congrats on the early access launch. And we can't wait to see what you add over time.
Thanks.
Thank you so
we're looking
much.
forward to adding a lot of stuff to make it even better.
Awesome.
Well, we hope we added a bunch more phantoms to the temples by playing it, because that's pretty much your metric for how many people are playing it. Fingers crossed.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
So handsome.
So muscly.
I know.
Lovely.
Yeah, just nice people. Because most of the time
Australians just do it right.
we just, that's right. We just deal with so many fucking assholes all the time. Will, like, you don't even like watching the show that you make.
Look at his face.
So good.
Good. Okay, great. So happy for them, and so happy. Like you said, Australian scene. So many mobile games coming out, and little things like that, which is great and awesome, and that sort of thing. But it's nice to see something like this, which is like such a cool idea on a bigger scale and getting the kind of attention.
Yeah, because smaller scale stuff often leads to, I think, ideas having to be a little more considered, a little more reserved, and be like, well, we've got to play it safe for funding models, or for, it's just not taking that big risky step, and that often comes with a really unique idea. It ends up being, well, it's this game with a bit of a spin on it or something.
Yeah.
So as you said, to see something like this that feels wholly, look, there are parts from other games, but wholly original when you get the final product, it's exciting, and it's just,
Totally. And hopefully, I think, other devs will see this game and its success and be like, maybe we don't need to work on mobile games and we can like create some new original ideas and...
Screw you, Temple Run.
But this game is not the only game we've been playing, so we're going to go to a short break now and then tell you about all the other games that we've been spending our week with. We'll be back after this short break.
Here at Boxwell, we can box whatever you want. You got something that needs a box, we'll have the box for that thing. We can put books in boxes, pillows in boxes. I've put tins of black beans in boxes. One time I put 32 VHS copies of the film The Boxer in a Boxwell box. Basically, you bring it in and we'll box it. Well, because we're Boxwell. Last week a lady came in with a wooden box and she asked me to put that box in a Boxwell box that was bigger. She didn't think I could put a box in a bigger box, but I sure as hell did. I put that box in a bigger Boxwell box and I showed her and she fucked right off. Put a body in a box. Boxed a couple of bodies, yeah. No, not at work. Not at work. Yeah, Boxwell boxes are the best quality boxes money can buy. So in order to protect that box, every time we box something in a Boxwell, we make sure to put that Boxwell in another box to protect the Boxwell box from being damaged by other shitty home brand boxes. No one takes boxes more seriously than us, not even Michael B. Jordan. Little box joke there for all you box lovers. Michael B. Jordan, of course, Michael Box Jordan to his friends and family, of which I am one. I know him. So when you need it boxed well, use a Boxwell, because no one boxes boxes like Boxwell.
Welcome back, and a big thank you to Multifish, Phoenix, and Robert Boxwell with our new Patreon commercial. Can I just say,
Please.
Here's what I love. So on the day that you guys came in and you shot a few commercials, and I wasn't here that day, so it was the Boxwell one, it was another one yet to be released, and it was the Play School one.
Yeah.
And so these were things that like the Play School one and the other one I sort of had written like a few days before during workday. Rob Boxwell, the Boxy ad was another one of those like 1:30 in the morning things, and I was like, I think this is funny, but I reckon the guys are gonna come back and go, no, I don't like this.
Which we've only done with one ad.
What ad was that?
The original Roller Star ad.
Yeah, the original Roller Star ad didn't just have enough of a visual hook.
Yeah.
I think it was fine, but it was like a COVID.
Post-show.
Oh, that's right.
Post-show,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
read it.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, that sucked. But so then it was like, okay, I'm not going to be in here today. So I get to see that as like I had no idea. I didn't even know who was in it. I didn't like fucking. I know that we made it, but fucking perfect. Well done.
Can I just
Oh
say,
my god.
Like,
Will.
obviously, Little Will, amazing edit, amazing, graphics, putting that whole thing together. Peter, it's good stuff, Pete.
Good stuff.
That's really good stuff. That was.
Oh, that's good stuff. Pete.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Not bad. Good stuff.
Okay,
It was good.
And thank you very much to Robert Boxwell, who has been a patron for yonks,
Yeah.
and now gets that commercial. I don't even know if Bobby Box is watching tonight, but if he is, well, we hope you're watching all this now. If you're not, I'll let you know that your commercial aired tonight. All right, let's move on with the next segment of our show that I like to call. What's Bobby Boxwell playing this week? I'm just saying, what y'all be playing? Brought to you by Brett Jones, a.k.a. LokiCat. LokiCat.
Him in a box?
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if his bird came in a box. Probably not. That would be a weird way to ship a bird.
I think that would be animal cruelty.
Does a bike come in a box?
A bite?
Bike. He has a bike.
bike.
Yes.
He has a
Right.
motorbike.
Yes.
Our couch came in a box,
Matt?
which I thought was weird when we ordered it.
That is.
Oh, wait.
It was a big, long couch, L-shaped couch.
Yeah.
Came in a box.
Wait. In an L-shaped box?
Like a finished?
No.
Because I've got a sectional
just
and it
one-
came in a bunch of boxes.
No, it just came in. Came in one really big box, and it had like plywood and stuff. It was so unnecessary, I guess, to protect the couch. But then it was like really hard to dispose of afterwards.
And then we ruined the leather within a day of having it.
I don't want to talk about that.
That's a post-show story.
That's a post-show story, that
Wait,
one.
is it a post-show story? Or
Yeah. It's not a sexy part. It's not- yeah.
Oh God! I didn't get it.
Will.
I've got the intro.
Okay, good. And Boxy63 is in the chat who says, I loved it. It was so great. Thank you, Boxy63. So if you could let Robert Boxwell know that the commercial aired, that would be
Because
fantastic.
all boxes are related, aren't they?
Totally.
Yeah, of course.
All right, the games that we've been playing this week, a ton of the games that we've been playing, technically they are games, but they're not full release, they're demos because the Steam Next Fest started after E3. So we've all dabbled in some demo stuff, so we'll be talking about those. Gus, start us off.
Sure.
With what you've been playing this week.
Yeah, I jumped in there and had a look and saw some of on the more popular end. The one I think most people are playing is called Terra Nil.
Yeah.
Which is this stunning little, I was going to say, it's forest builder. It's not a city builder. Very remnant of something like SimCity, just in its design. But essentially, the goal of the game is to take a wasteland that is devoid of life and to use relatively eco-friendly infrastructure to bring that area back to life.
cool.
It's stunning. I don't know where to start. Well, I'll start with the beginning, but like,
You get a little Tanya?
no, there's no cha-ching. Shooting pine trees. Yeah, a little Command and Conquer, I guess you could say that. But there's some, like straight off the bat, the thing you're seeing here is just how beautiful the art style of this game is. And it is worth having a quick look back at the original version 1.1 of the game, because it totally was like a retro SimCity 1
right.
Yeah.
replica. Like the original looks like slow, like pixelated, really low frame rate.
Yeah.
Almost looks like purposely made to be retro. And it's had a massive glow up. And the game is really what I needed to play right now. It is this wonderfully calming, very, I would say it's got a challenge to it, but the challenge isn't a fail state. It is essentially trying to work out the best systems in place to revegetate or bring back this place to life.
So sorry,
Very
are you revegetating like scorched earth style thing, or
Yes.
are you reclaiming like an abandoned city with vegetation?
You're reclaiming scorched earth, so it is
Right,
a
okay.
wasteland. And from the tutorial, which I played, and I probably sunk like 2
Just very quickly,
hours.
I'm going to walk away, but I'm only doing it to get more wine. So continue.
Please.
I'll get it forever.
It feels it feels wonderful to play in the sense that yes, you are looking at this desolate wasteland, and you need to put in things like there's great little systems that you have to work out how they all play together. So there are things like a windmill will generate power that generates a soil reclaimer. You can then put on a I forget the names of them, but something that then covers that soil in grass. Now that's
Are there like non-environmental choices that you like environmentally choices like that you can make?
There are a
or
few-
is it just every option you have available to you is good for the earth?
There's a few things that you can use to terraform, which will do a bit of damage just as they terraform.
Okay, right. But you can't put like a
but-
coal plant in there or something.
Will Madame be partaking?
Oh, not for me, thank you. No.
Nikki, oh, thank you. I will take another splash. Thank you so much. There are, or as my family says, just a small splash. Ah, yes,
And
very
then they
well done.
continue to pour the
Oh, yeah.
entire bottle into
Whole
the
thing.
glass. Yeah. You're supposed to smell it first, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Yes, there are a few terraforming things that will damage the earth nearby, and you need to then reclaim that. What I will say that's really fascinating about the whole thing is that like there are some pretty complex systems that took a while for me to get my head around. For instance, to grow flowers in an area, you need to plant a beehive in a tree.
Of course.
Once the flowers are there, flowers are the only thing that can burn. You need to burn areas in the game, you need to burn areas to claim them as forest. That's the only way you can get a forest. A forest is the thing that has trees in it, and they're the only things that can have beehives in them. So there are some really cool little, like, you sit there and have these little aha moments where you're like, I need to create a certain amount of a biome, be it a wetlands, be it a forest, be it a flowered area. And to do that, I need to take these steps that won't hopefully hinder the other biome I'm trying to rebuild, because as you'll see...
And what's your budget?
I was just about to say, the currency in the bottom left is essentially, it's leaves, which is a representation of how much vegetation you've planted. So you are actually earning the currency by reclaiming this land as you go. And it gets pretty complex to the point that later on you need to... create a little airship. Actually, it's not a spoiler, but it was a wonderful realization in the game that essentially once you've no, well, this is how the game works.
It was a spoiler,
But it's a beautiful moment of the game.
Well, this is something that I think maybe I was just a bit slow on the uptake then, Peter. How about that?
Or you could just not
No,
tell.
this is what you do.
No, it's intrinsic-
You say it's not a spoiler and justify why it's not a spoiler.
It's actually not
definitely
a spoiler. This is 100% not a spoiler. What you have to do is to complete a level.
You grow Goku.
Which is to complete a level, you need to vegetate the whole land. You need to get it into its key, I guess.
Pristineness?
No, there's like, O2 versus
Oh,
water
the
versus
sort
humidity.
of balance of the biome.
You've got to get it balanced, and then you start reclaiming all your buildings, and you start recycling them down, which was a real messed moment, because I was like,
That is nice.
That would have been a nice surprise to him again.
hang on. I was like, I don't want to get rid of all my buildings because I'm sure some of them are doing
Here's
the
the
right
real
thing.
spoiler.
And I couldn't finish the level. And I was like, what's going on? Because I'm like, no, I still want to keep that building there, and that's doing something, I'm sure. That's generating
you must
power.
kill your darlings to
Well,
survive.
it's like,
Yeah, you gotta
so basically what you need to do is recycle, and it's a complex another little game, which I won't spoil that, how to recycle all your buildings successfully to get them all put on an airship that then leaves, and the level is complete when your ship leaves, and the whole place has been revegetated. Little animals, fish fill the
so
streams,
cool.
you walk through the meadows, frogs fill the wetlands, and then you
Beautiful.
leave, and you look at it, and you're like, I did that. It's beautiful, and then it zooms out, and then that's what the stages are. It's taking these areas,
Yeah,
reclaiming
cool.
them entirely, and leaving. And
I was really surprised that because this was at the top of the of the demo, like the people are playing.
Sure.
And I was like, why is this the #1 demo that people are playing by far? And now I see.
The music behind it is beautiful and perfectly complements kind of the mood that you're in when you play this. And as I said, it had a really lovely kind of tone in the sense that you did need to remove everything and kind of be really proud of this little terrarium that you've built in the space. And in that sense, it was lovely. I don't know how far the demo goes beyond that, but I assume your goal is to then, I think there's a world map where you see it's all ravaged. So your goal is to create greenery over the whole globe again, or at least in these stages. And yeah, it's wonderful. It was very, I was playing it literally just with a mouse. Like you could do it all just like sort of second monitor style.
Angus.
No, point is, fuck off. I didn't ruin that couch. No, the point is, it was just like it wasn't a managing all these things that were rising and falling and being really stressful. I just kind of sat there with my cat in my lap and just kind of like clicked around and was like, "Am I doing it right? Oh, who cares? This is just really lovely to play," and it was really soothing.
Cool.
And so, I recommend it as
super charming.
Yeah, a charming little game that is also, very sort of
Has a
zen-like.
nice message.
It does, and
That's Terra Nil, and the demo is still available on Steam to download.
Go check it out.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
It's really good.
Weekend, actually. Steph.
Yes, I dived into the new Sea of Thieves content, A Pirate's Life, which is like...
Yo ho.
Yeah, which is the
That's your
the
wife.
Disney...
That was a good one.
which is the Disney collaboration that Rare have done to bring Captain Jack Sparrow and the world of Pirates of the Caribbean into Sea of Thieves.
Your beloved.
Yes, so I think what's really good about it, I haven't played Sea of Thieves for a while. I kind of went hard on it for a few years, and I hit Pirate Legend, and I played through all the story content, and then they continued to like add consistent updates to the game every few months. It was really quite cool, but I think I kind of lost motivation after I'd sort of hit that goal and I'd played through the story content because, the joy of Sea of Thieves really, I think, is in the sort of interaction you have with other players, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and I guess working towards those kind of goals and stuff. And then they included these story missions called Tall Tales, which were fun little stories that that expanded the lore of the world and involved some really cool, unique locations. They took you into like underground sea caves. They took you into like lava, volcano, underground worlds with jumping puzzles. And there was one really good, my favorite of the Tall Tales was you had a journal that was written by a child who who tried to describe the places that she'd been on with this ship to where the treasure was stolen, and you have to try and decipher based on a child's
logic.
drawings.
That's great.
And her
that's lovely.
interpretation of things, which is really like more imaginative. There was another one that was like all to do with constellations and following the stars and stuff. Like each Tall Tale was really creative and wonderful. So when I ran out of those to do, I kind of like lost interest in the game. But it's obvious that they've been working on like the Tall Tale to like end all Tall Tales.
The tallest tale.
Yeah, the tallest tale with this collaboration, and it is by far the most elaborate thing I would say that they've brought into the game.
Yeah, cool.
So I've only played the first Tall Tale. There's a series of them to complete the whole sort of Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean arc. And the first mission, you have to just go and rescue him from where he's being held. And it's kind of like an instance that you'll pass into, so you're not having to kind of deal with other players
Being
griefing
briefed.
you
Cool.
while you're trying to just push through the story content, which I think was really smart. It's cool as well because it has they've incorporated dialogue from the ride, the Disneyland ride, sound bites
I
from
was
it.
going to say that I've seen people say that it is actually like as much a reference to the ride as it is the films.
Totally.
Even in the game design, like the dungeons are like,
Yeah.
this feels like a ride kind of thing.
Yeah. And there's a few kind of small puzzles as you kind of figure out how to make your way through and get to this kind of hidden area where you start the whole thing. And it's really, really nice. And it's kind of like they've brought some kind of new enemy types in there as well. You have like some ship battles. You get kind of the best of everything in this first intro mission. But I think where it will really pick up is in the subsequent stories. We did try and start the second Tall Tale and then encountered a bug that we couldn't push past. So that was kind of disappointing, but I think they're going to release they're like Rare and the Sea of Thieves team are pretty amazing with hot fixes and patches.
Yeah.
And obviously this is the most ambitious thing they've ever brought to the game, so it's bound to have some teething issues. So I think there'll be a hot fix for that pretty soon, and then we can go ahead. And some people have finished it all, so I think obviously it's not a bug that is there for everyone. But it was really fun, and it's just really cool to kind of see that world be brought into the game. The guy that does the voice for Jack Sparrow is the same guy that did his voice in Kingdom Hearts. This is sound alike. It's not actually Johnny Depp, but he does a really good job of it.
Speaking of sound, because this is a huge part of for me enjoying those original films, it's actually the soundtrack. Is there any of the was there any musical changes, or were there?
Yeah, the music is really, really beautiful.
Do you know if it's from the movies?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure if it's not, but
I'm sure it's got that in there because I don't know that I was paying attention to it.
I can't imagine that it wouldn't. Like it's Disney.
Like the title theme,
it's
like
thing.
Yeah.
You know the.
got to have that at some point.
I'm sure
Maybe
it will.
comes in on the last mission or
It
something.
might be coming in later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I shouldn't build myself up, but that is something I still listen to those soundtracks. And
Yeah,
so,
I remember playing Sea of Thieves, and there was I encountered a guy in game who was playing that down his headset mic when he would come because it's proximity chat, right?
And isn't there-
as his boat would come into view, I would hear the Pirates of the Caribbean theme get
but like
louder
a
and
crummy
louder.
old radio version of it.
Yeah.
Isn't there the thing that's like a shell or something you can yell? No, you could yell through a horn at people.
Yeah, you've got like a
So-
megaphone,
yes.
so you can amplify your voice when you're talking to.
It's either that or obnoxious trap music that the kids are listening to these days. So yeah, either or.
But yeah, it was really, really fun. It was really it was really beautiful, and it's always just exciting to explore new locations in the game because once you become familiar with the world of Sea of Thieves, you kind of you've seen it all. So once they opened up this whole other extra realm, it was just really exciting.
Sorry, once you've played as many hours as you have in the original, you've seen it all. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Pirate Legend.
for the rest of us, we've seen bits of it.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, we've spoken about it, but I just think it's such a cool, big... I can't think of many other games that have done something like this. Like, Fortnite is the first one that comes to mind, but the way that they integrate their thing is it's still the Battle Royale. Like, it's still just like... The core game mode is kind of still there. Sometimes there's an added, like, Thanos mode or something, but it's mainly just about skins and design. Whereas the idea of, like, putting this story into the engine is just very cool. And also, I saw someone in chat who was Sir Bobo Gargoyle said that they did get the score. So there's some original songs in there and some Pirates of the Caribbean.
But the music in Sea of Thieves is always like spectacular.
Yeah,
I was
fantastic.
going to say,
I've even watched
would be great.
a behind-the-scenes video of how they come up with all the different sounds and stuff, and the whales, and they've got all these weird instruments with water and beads and weird stuff to kind of make weird whaling sounds and theremins and stuff. But I still, there's part of me that still feels kind of weird about. Like
your game
our game having a Disney kind of like known characters in it, but I understand that in order to put something that is this ambitious, they needed to have an IP that would bring a lot of people to the game. So I understand that it's like when you cast a superstar in a musical who doesn't have as good a voice as a musical thing.
Name and shame. Russell Crowe.
It's but it is also a piece of entertainment media in 2021. So therefore, Disney do need to have some.
That's right. Yeah.
It's also like, and just to say, like Sea of Thieves is like famously is a game that's kind of been built in reverse in the sense that when it came out, it was a bit bare bones, but there was some heaps of fun to have in it. But essentially, they were all the side missions were there, and then they, as you said, put the tall tales in, which were great. But they were essentially the meat, the meat on the bone of what the game is, and then they've added this as well. And I'm so glad it's.
Bone.
It is, but I'm so glad it survived that because
I was about to say, I think Microsoft really they stood by them and kind of like were in it for the long haul and allowed them to kind of play.
Unlike Channel 7.
Fuck 'em.
It allowed them to play a bit of catch up and provide more content for the people that did really love the kind of. What the game had promised and stuck around for that. And and I think a lot of people didn't realize. And so whenever I would play Sea of Thieves, they're like, how are you still playing this? And I'm like, mate, you don't even know what's in it now.
Yeah, I'm
Fire bombs, crazy like...
Firebomb.
That's where you
Different kinds of bananas to consume.
I am really excited about jumping back into it because this. This was because it was Microsoft who totally stuck by this game, and this was a couple of years before Game Pass was kind of announced, before we understood the bottomless pit of money that Microsoft are willing to throw at video games and their platform. And Sea of Thieves should have been the first indication of just going like, nah, just keep going, and then eventually Disney. And cool. I'm excited to hear more, and I'm just waiting for the time to be able to.
And also the comment you said earlier, so Bobo Goggles release the Kraken. He knows what that means.
Yeah, good. But this isn't the only massive Disney collaboration that you've been playing this week.
What?
What?
Lost Egg 2 be together?
How is that a Disney collaboration?
I was just building it. You say Chicken Little? I was just building it up.
Okay, yeah.
So that you could undermine it.
Sure.
But then you undermined me.
This is my Nick Richardson weird game of the week.
Well, again, it's not a deck builder with a sexy teen in the egg. So
No,
how do you know?
Preteen, sorry.
I discovered...
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Don't give me that reputation.
I discovered this game, Lost Egg 2 Be Together. Like I discover so many games, and that is by rating someone who was playing it, and it was Tom Walker, comedian Tom Walker, who was playing this game.
Fellow lover of preteens.
It's still in the egg.
Sorry. Go on,
Yeah,
please,
no, that's
Steph.
fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. So this is a platformer. You play an egg.
There's a Tom Walker egg emote that Blinky17 has just put in chat.
Yeah,
Tom Walker must have played a lot of this.
Really
Tom Walker
loves
is a bit of a lost
He
egg.
really loves
And
If
so
you were
does
to
chat.
describe
Egg
Tom
in the
Walker.
chat. Egg,
Yeah,
egg,
I mean,
egg.
I too love eggs, so it seemed like the game for me. But it's a platformer
think there's a
where you
chant
play as an egg,
Yeah.
which is annoying because an egg is not round.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No.
So you can take a lot of your health bar is in the top left.
Oh, okay.
You can take a number of hits as
that's
egg.
no
that's
chicken
a
egg.
lot of help.
That's no chicken egg.
Yeah, you can, and you can also pick up. There's little health drops in the world, but once you run out of health, you do go splat.
Oh, but you lose health every time you jump.
Every time.
Oh,
you jump.
that makes
Every
sense.
time the egg
Interesting,
makes
yeah.
contact, with pressure, and it is like one of those games that is like it is reliant on skill, but also that it feels like there's a bit of chance involved because
Yeah.
you just don't know which way the egg is going to roll.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to control a non-round object that is rolling across small, precarious surfaces, it is very frustrating.
Go
But
in.
it's-
That's how you wreck a couch.
yeah, but it's also just like it's strangely compelling too because it's like
Thanks, Will.
it almost goes straight, and so you feel like you can kind of do enough corrective, movement with the keys.
Sorry. Yeah. Talk me through. Is it co-op? And we watching this?
You can play it in co-op. Yes,
Right,
I
so-
played single player, but yes,
I
you can play it in
see.
co-op.
The footage
So you
we're watching
have-
here is someone with another egg.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the second time in a week we've watched a round thing try to
Yeah.
navigate a world without breaking.
I just
Yeah.
my only question is just like, what the fuck are video games?
It's so weird, and the environments that you're going in are like all really varied and quite beautiful. Like there's one like very antique, fancy house with all this lovely furniture.
Fabergé
which is-
eggs?
Which was good, no, because
missed
a lot of the
opportunity.
curved furniture had little like ribs and edges on it that you could use to kind of leverage yourself up. But they've also done some
sick.
very annoying things where they've put like a lot of lips and overhangs when you're trying to jump and you hit stuff. and yeah, it's just like it's a special kind of joy that you get when you get through one of these levels because it is just so frustrating not being able to have full control over the object that you're trying to navigate with. So it's stupid and weird and fun, and I love that it's called Lost Egg 2 Be Together. Because
there Lost Egg 1?
It's two, yes, but this one has co-op, so you can be together and no
sweet.
longer be lost.
My suggestion for the developers: if you find
Which they are asking
They're
for.
listening.
I imagine so. You should be able to get yourself to a pot of boiling water. You should hardboil yourself.
The end goal is to get into the frying pan.
Oh yeah, look, that's
yeah,
good.
fried
But
egg.
point is halfway point, you hardboil yourself.
No, hard
and
boil
less
yourself is better than frying yourself?
No,
I'm saying all of it is you're
Die.
ultimately going to die.
Yeah.
Like your
Yes.
goal is to
But you'll
have
be-
your innards consumed
But as-
by a small, like a large fleshy mammal.
But I feel like as an egg, you want to lead a life of purpose.
Ah,
and so
yeah.
at least if
okay.
you get to the
It's
frying pan,
unfertilized.
purpose
it's
be-
a submission.
shouldn't that
as,
fertilized.
as long as you get to the frying pan, then you know that you've lived a meaningful
it.
life.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
if you splat on the floor, like many of my eggs did, that's a waste. That's sad.
And the game goes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, that's not what I meant either. No, what I was saying.
That's why you
was that
freeze
mine's
them young.
That's how you wreck a couch.
mechanical that it like gives you a buff. Like you hardboil yourself so you don't crack as easily. So you get to like.
Yes, I know what
But
you
then,
mean.
yeah, but then
I
what,
know what
what,
you
But
what
these
would
guys made it weird
But
afterwards.
what would you ultimately do after you
What you
hardboiled
should do,
yourself?
I'll tell you exactly what you do.
Tell me.
You then jump into a vat of vinegar
Oh, yeah.
where you stay for an extended period of time until you can replicate that primary school science thing.
Yes. You put
it in a
where
bottle?
your hard-boiled egg in vinegar, and then you can bounce it like a bouncy ball.
Yeah, or you can suck it into the
a
bottle. Yeah.
In a bottle.
Or leave it for many years and
Wouldn't that
create a
be a heat
century
thing?
egg.
Yes, I like that.
Jordan Rask goes onto the
yeah.
century egg as well. That's disgusting.
Are they
Never
edible?
had one? You don't
No,
know.
but I know they're disgusting.
Oh,
Are they
that
disgusting
sounds
because you eat
racist.
them or because they just look gross?
No, there are definitely many foods, whether they come from China or
Scotland.
Walker, that I'm like not eating that.
I'll eat
You're talking
a
to
blood
someone who is descended from a people who eat
yeah.
fermented shark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, okay.
I'm the people who would find the breadcrumbs and I would roll in them and then I would fry myself and I would be a Scotch egg. Close enough.
You
Devil
come
egg.
from the people that make haggis, so I feel like
That's true.
your
I've got no
wheat
leg to
roasting.
stand on.
I do love a pickled egg. Though.
I like a black
Tell you
pudding.
what.
What?
All right, cool. Let's take two, be together. Peter.
Where should I begin?
We shouldn't drink on this show.
Where should I begin?
Start. Wait. do
Well,
you
I was
wanna
going to
know?
start with Sable.
Yeah, I know. I was like, are you
went through this.
subtly asking me?
No, we did go.
He
through
always
this, I
forgets the
forgot.
Sorry,
name.
Will and
Will's
Will
on.
quietly saying we went through this.
We
Yeah,
went
we
through.
totally
Will's
did.
like, this is why Will's fed up.
Yeah.
He's like, why do we even fucking bother doing a
Hang on,
rehearsal?
Hang on. Give me my. Well, it's not a single anymore. Thanks very much, Steph. But
I've got my clothes.
Oh no, that's just a sexy picture of me. Give me my duo shot.
I can give Nick a single. Hang on.
Yeah, you can.
Do you want me to just?
Go on, happy ears.
Yeah, he's fed up.
Hates it.
Hang on.
Hates it.
I'm gonna just bring the brightness down. Look how much he hates work.
There's a real Benjamin Franklin vibe to that.
There is, yeah.
We should put him on a coin.
Yeah.
be in a bank
They should
note.
put him in marble.
No, we should put him on an egg. Let's put him on an egg.
That's
You do look really
regal.
regal.
Yeah.
You do.
It's
the collar.
It's the lifted
You
chin.
do.
It's the lifted chin, but it's also this looks like one of those little collars that they had under their waistcoat.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So okay, so I'm gonna
God,
post
let me go
this
back.
in the Discord right now.
with
Yeah.
his permission.
4-3.
4-3, go ahead.
You owe
I
me
was gonna say,
$239
worth of Will edits.
worth of. I want you to turn him into a oil painting.
I want a feather hat.
He wants a feather hat,
yeah.
and I also want him on a coin. So I'm going to put this into the creative channel in the Discord right now, while Pete tells me all about Sable.
And if it's high
Sable,
enough res,
demo.
we'll print it and I'll put it somewhere in a
good.
frame.
Oh
Say-
yeah, we could put it on the wall.
A framed oil painting.
Sable demo. I had no idea what to expect of Sable, except that I know it's part of Game Pass. So Microsoft like it, and the demo hit Steam.
Yeah, I've seen this before. So fill me in. Has this been on Game Pass for a while? And now?
No, it's not out yet.
Okay, well then I've seen it in
It's been promoted in Microsoft stuff for quite a while.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking. Because
yeah.
I've seen heaps of footage of this game zipping about on a little desert.
So wait, it is or it isn't on Game Pass?
It's not yet because the game isn't out until September or October.
It will be on Game Pass.
But the demo is free on Steam,
Steam.
right now.
Gotcha.
And it's had a bit of a
I understand.
notorious long development process,
Yeah.
I believe.
It looks beautiful.
It is.
Let's invert that controller.
There it is.
Exactly. I should have clipped that bit out. This game is really, really cool. It feels like a very old school adventure game. Obviously, the first thing you notice is how striking the art is. Very simple, low frame animation. There's still a bit of a gaminess to how you interact with things. Like sometimes it feels a little bit clippy and a bit off, but
Yeah.
it's really cool how they've blended this, like the camera moves at a really smooth frame rate, but your animation is jaggy.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like, I don't know, 15 or 20 frames a second or
It's
something animation.
I
like
the
that
latest
it's
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
outfit,
yeah,
where
yeah.
you could do a low frame rate Spidey outfit. To
I
look
like
you're
that
in
it's
a movie.
quite matte. Like they haven't kind of put like crazy lighting in there so that it keeps the kind of hand-drawn art effect.
Yeah, and it just is like, it's always really striking to look at.
Totally.
That's-
And like, I think you can look at maybe a frame of it and go like, that's really basic, but when you're in it and around it, there's something really special about it.
Yeah.
What kind of game is it? Like
It is an adventure game. It's like, it feels like the original, it feels like Ocarina of Time. You go and talk to
Take full
people.
damage.
You go and talk to people. They give you very basic things to do. You go and complete those basic tasks in different parts of a really like grand, scary world.
What's the setup of the story? Do you get
So the setup is that these people are living like a nomadic life, rough in the dunes, basically. But there's a bunch. This is a far future where there's a bunch of really high tech, like spaceships and stuff crashed around that they don't fully understand, but they're able to manipulate some of that technology and use it for their own purposes.
Yeah, right.
So you get a speeder bike basically straight away.
well, that's the big thing I've seen in all the game's art and everything. Is the main mechanic.
The demo is build a good one, and you start with a bomb of one that's smoking and stuff. So it's like, okay, this is the demo. Is like, here's what the game is. It's an adventure game. Interact with characters. Go and do the little tasks that they give you. Come back to base. You're going to build a a little speeder bike and go off into what looks to be quite a large map. You start on a small part and it kind of shows you're in here, and it looked quite expansive. It's maybe like, it feels like it's probably going to be like maybe a 20-hour game when it's all together.
And I imagine, as you said, this seems to be like the main mechanic or the main draw of the game in terms of like I guess a Wind Waker-y kind of thing, where it's like, it's an adventure game, and your main interesting mode of transport is kind of the driving force of what you're doing or upgrading and getting around with.
Yeah, I think like I'm saying like Lakatu in the chat is saying to me, the janky running is such a turn-off. I hear you. I think it's more jarring when you're watching a video of it than when you're playing it as well. I don't know. There's just something about it that gels really well. And again, it's really smooth motion, but it's low frame animation, so it does like cut against what you're doing, but it never feels janky to play. It always feels smooth to pan your camera and stuff. So I feel like you should give the demo a try. It's free. There's a Breath of the Wild climbing stamina mechanic. You very quickly become aware that these people are gliders.
Is it voice? Is there voice acting?
No. And I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. I was playing with headphones on. I'm pretty sure there's not voice acting, but there's quite a bit of reading to do.
Yeah.
There might be in the final game. I'm not sure.
Your people are gliders?
They are called gliders. In their youth, they're able to. What I'm doing now is I'm off to find. There's this weird little egg in a sock. Egg.
You like that?
I do.
Yeah.
Egg. Nice.
Egg.
You have this ability to glide, and I'm at the first temple here where I get that ability. But it's like these people have like these innate powers, and they don't really use them to. When they're in the youth, they go off and explore the world, and the only people in the town are old or really young, and you've reached this age of
Set off on your adventure.
That kind of you get given the materials that you need. The materials that you need to set off.
Yep.
And it's really simple, but there's something like once you fall into the rhythm of the world, it's like it's quite a nice place to be. And the demo was only an hour, and I burned through that hour really quickly. It felt like I was like. It didn't feel long or boring or anything. It just was like it's not the most. There's nothing new game design wise, but
that's still quite comforting in the sense that you're enjoying the tropes of what makes a good adventure.
I would play this for the art alone. It's so beautiful.
I downloaded it and then deleted it because I was like, I know I'm going to play this when it comes out. And I'd rather just once I'm in it, I want to just stay in it because this felt to me like one of those demos that I'll play. And then when I finish it, I'm like, oh, I forgot I was playing a demo.
That's so there's an interesting thing in that too, because like it's a difficult thing where you want people to like play the game but not feel like they've played enough of it or had enough of a taste of it. Baldur's Gate, the new Baldur's Gate, I had to stop playing it because I was like, I feel like I'm going to burn out on this first
totally
area, and I'm going to enjoy playing this as a complete game.
Yeah, I would say more and more if there are more demos. If there are more demos a la the Hyrule Warriors, there's a game we're playing that we're going to talk about next week, which is doing this, but any demo that says your progress will carry through to the main game, it's there. It's like, it is essentially your...
Trickier, I think, when there's like a really big game that's in early access and to rebuild a lot of stuff.
Totally, I realize it's a difficult thing probably to develop for, but at the same time, it is essentially giving everyone a taste of your game, and if you're confident that it works well, and then, the idea of saying, I want to continue.
You can choose whether you want to start it over or not.
And I reckon 9 times out of 10, I'd say yes if I had enjoyed that demo.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally. Yeah.
So are you excited now for the full release?
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect from it, and it's again nothing unfamiliar, but it's just so beautiful. That's your little like gliding orb
bubble.
There's nothing particularly new about it, but it's really nice.
From, I wonder. It just feels.
I know what you mean. It feels like someone from a unique background.
Yeah, it just seems like the art is so unique. It feels like it can't be.
Well, sable is French for sand.
Interesting. as you go into that, the only other thing I want to ask or add is that, like, again, a lot of the art I've seen for this, because it's been around for ages in development, is focusing on that bike that moves around the sand dunes and stuff. Is that fun, at least, to navigate? And is there anything else in terms of, is there, like, combat or...
Sorry, just really quick, just
Yes,
to
please.
close this off. Shedworks, the developers,
Yeah.
a 2-person game development studio founded in a garden shed in North London. 2 people, which makes...
Which now I feel shit for saying
Team,
forever to make it.
and 3 people developing Phantom Abyss. Fucking,
Pathetic.
like,
Yeah.
luxurious. Well, you guys
Well,
are-
the fact
yeah.
that Ben didn't roll well enough, get him out of it.
That's true, yeah.
So here's like some of the old architecture, like this is shipwreck basically, space shipwreck
Yeah, okay.
that's
The
around that you.
The world before.
Yeah.
You're is that, I'm going to, sorry if this is presumptuous, it's a female protagonist?
Yes.
Running around a sand dune.
It's you totally get Rey vibes.
It's Rey vibes. You're
They
salvaging-
absolutely watched Force Awakens and was like, this opening 5 minutes of this film is what we want to make a video game about.
Yeah.
And it feels like that. Like the music is gorgeous. I wouldn't say that this is a fun thing to drive. It's not unfun, but it's just really like, it's about how beautiful everything is.
Yeah, I was about to say that I could watch
the music
smoke all day.
is lovely. And I don't think my next bike will smoke.
Okay.
I think this is the broken
that's
one.
sand cloud.
There is sand kicking up, but it also literally they're like, this thing's on fire.
Yeah, cool.
And like this is some of the more like adventure
Drive
game
this
stuff
like a
you
peril.
do.
Yeah.
We need to, in order to get one part of the ship, someone's hidden it. A kid has hidden it from me, and she wants me to go and collect beetles for her. So I've got to distract them by throwing a thing.
A delightful trope for
and collect
adventure
them.
games with, like, you know, roundabout kind of difficult ways to make quests more, like,
Yeah.
contrived than they need to be. But you're like, yeah, that's fine. That's what games are for.
Yeah, cool. I'm
Cool.
keen for this. I am keen. Were you as hot on your next game?
No. Because that next game is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, no. So your shame shave.
This is a shame shave game for me.
What a shame shave.
Let's have a look.
Oh, God, it's the same shirt, baby.
Oh, I miss those glasses. And we really need to upgrade.
That was terrifying. It cut from you in the same shirt to you getting shaved.
Going, which I think is, you making that noise. Anyway, go on.
It's part of my shame shave. We set this up at the start of the year. We wanted to play through some games that we feel like we should have played and hadn't played. This was on my list because I've been happy to throw shit at Kingdom Hearts as a series forever because it never looked like something I'd be interested in. But I'd never played it. And so I wanted to justify my distaste for the series. And playing it has pretty much solidified my feelings about it. But I will say it is interesting how much there is in this game. It changes pretty
huge.
They're huge. There's so much cutscene. My God. And it's all
they love,
awful.
they love
it's
a
all
cutscene.
so bad.
And it's like a soap opera. You cut between people's faces, like really long shots of people just reacting to things, or ...
One of the fun things that I managed to do on my stream of it was Nigrotex gifted 5 subs, so I awarded him 5 skips of cutscenes.
That's really an award
which
Nice.
he used
An award
well.
for you.
That's
Totally.
great.
But Nigrotex as well, because we're all hating.
But skipping the cutscenes, is that not the only reason to play this video game?
No, it definitely isn't. Like, I think there's definitely a contingency of people out there who enjoy this combat for some reason. There's definitely a depth to it, but not like Final Fantasy depth. It's like, it's JRPG.
Do you think you would, if you'd played this game as a kid, you would enjoy it now for the nostalgia?
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that, like, if you had managed to fall in love with this as a kid, there's so much game here. There's so much pretty stuff to look at. I mean, this game's only 2 years old, so it's dog shit for 2019.
Yeah.
But it's a series evolution of something that's existed for a long time.
Yeah.
So I can see why people would grow up.
Which
grow up really
Did
enjoying
you
it.
say this is 3?
This is 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Just skip an hour.
People waited
skip
so
at least an
long
hour.
for this game, and I feel like it didn't have a great reception.
The opening is really slow, which was tough for the first stream of it.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I went to space. I was flying a little spaceship through space. I went to like spaceports and landed in different towns and stuff. And it's like, Apparently, the thing that I really enjoy, the only thing that I'm really digging in the game is the thing that Kingdom Hearts people hate, which is that there's these combo attacks, which are all really like huge, and they're Disney theme park rides. It's like you become a ship ride,
right.
and you just swing at things and hit them and stuff.
But it
It's
was,
like,
again, massively promotional to be like, your superpowers are rides that are available to you in a real-world theme park.
Yeah.
and there's like, there's like definitely depth to the combat system, but it's that, like, chat was yelling at me that I'm not playing it right, and it's like, it's also just like so unfun that it's not the kind of thing that you are compelled to learn.
Totally, yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of a system that like is, just because you've learned it doesn't mean it's good.
Enemies.
It's just, you just have to learn it in order to be good at it, which is fine. And it's not the thing that I'm enjoying. I'm going to play another session at least before I write it off entirely.
But are we, and Shame Shave, were we not supposed to finish those games?
No.
You sure?
You're supposed, absolutely.
Yeah, we totally
To a
meant to finish them.
completionist
No.
level,
Ori?
which is 63 hours?
No.
Ori's done.
Prey?
Prey
Well
is
done.
one more stream done.
Yeah?
Yep.
No, that was not what we agreed. We can go back and watch the episode.
Watch it. Play the intro again to just double check.
Please don't.
Baby.
That gives us no information.
That Reese logo.
I will update that.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely want to.
No, Pete's right. It's to finish the games that like there are some games you put down because
Yes.
you go, God, I wish I finished it, and some games you go like, I should try.
Well, to be fair,
this.
and Pete picked it. Like the rest of us picked games where we were like, we want to play this, and Pete was like, I need to play this to have a leg to stand on.
When he trashes it, yeah.
yeah. No.
And I feel like, if you kind of do one more stream of it, I feel like that's probably enough.
And
There's Stephanie.
What?
You can see our foreheads.
That's when I got home, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And Nigrotex says, if you couldn't finish the Reese logo, you shouldn't have to finish the game. Okay, cool. Kingdom Hearts 3. You're going to give it one more stream to see how it goes. Maybe
Yeah,
it'll
totally.
get its hooks in. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I
you
think
think-
there's like plenty of game, so there might be part of the game that I really enjoy.
Yeah, the
and
credits.
want to see more of it, but it's definitely not the cutscenes.
Do you
They're
think?
awful.
Does any Kingdom Hearts fans in the chat feel like if he had played a different Kingdom Hearts, he would have had a different reaction?
That's a good point, because people were saying Kingdom Hearts 2 is a better game, but
it's older.
But it's older.
Yeah.
But I will say that this game doesn't feel new in its design anywhere.
Yeah.
Look at
So maybe I should jump down to 2 or 1 and just play the good one, and then I can definitely put a nail in the coffin of
But I
Kingdom
feel
Hearts.
like if people enjoyed 2, it's probably for the story and the characters. I feel like Kingdom Hearts fans really enjoyed the characters and the story and stuff. I always see them like screenshotting Sora and Axel
Yep.
on a
Axel
ledge eating
of Guns N'
ice
Roses.
blocks.
Yep, fucking goofy. That's right.
Yeah.
I've been to those.
Nigrotex, I read what you wrote, and I'm not here to make friends. Like this series is a blight on games. It can go away.
Light on games.
I think that's pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
I'm gonna.
Have you played any?
No, what's you? I actually
You've just committed it to your shame shave for next year.
Yeah, you got to finish it, and you have to finish
Because
it.
you're trashing it, but you've never
I
played
tuned
it. Oh
in to
my
watch
God.
Pete, and I thought I'd be supportive with joke around and stuff, and it hurt to watch. I was like, and then watching you in the corner, we were both watching a cut scene play out, and Goofy's like, I guess I never thought about
That's
doing
actually
it
the
that
best part of
way."
the game.
And I was like, what the fuck was that, Pete? And then Pete goes, the fuck? And I'm like, cool, I'm right, yeah. Oh, God.
The thing that I'm like, the things that I'm
split
liking
the
in the
chat
game
in
are
half
things
as
that
well.
the chat hate. I love that Donald Duck is there. He's so annoying.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep.
I love that that the game makes you spend 50 hours with this fuckwit.
Wait, it's Donald Duck?
Yeah. He's like, Donald Duck is a great character, but spending that much time with a character
Bits.
yelling. Oh my goodness.
Like tastes of duck, not the whole man. All right, Will, move us on to something equally as wholesome, but probably better.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really have much anger towards this, unless your computer doesn't run it, in which case, come to work. I played Lego Builder's Journey, and it's just beautiful. Like, it is one of the best looking things I've ever seen. And as a Lego fan, it does things that I didn't expect. So it's obviously, Nick, you were surprised by this, a puzzle game.
Yeah.
So this is a very basic puzzle.
Surprise.
Generally, early on, it's like just put the bricks where they. Like,
that
where they
physics
can
is
fit.
so sexy.
Yeah.
I see it's called Builder's Journey, so is this not affiliated with Lego officially?
There is usually a Lego logo.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
this
okay,
is
right.
Hardcore.
This is
Yeah,
this is
okay.
the purest version of
Yeah.
a Lego game you can play because
Yeah.
if you these first levels are just setting it up, but Will obviously you were playing further through and
Oh,
it
that
gets
was so
into these-
satisfying. Yeah.
Oh, and it's such a cool thing. The way you pick up the Lego is you click it once, and then once you click it again, you can spin it, and then you have to click and hold to actually place the brick. So it's like single click. It's
little
like
hat.
it's
But
very
it's that
Oh, yeah.
feeling of like actually pressing it into the board or whatever it is.
Totally.
This was a mobile game, I believe.
This is
before.
Apple Arcade,
It's
yeah?
been on Apple Arcade
Can't
for I
connect.
think a year.
Yeah.
So it's finally come to PC, console, and like Switch.
It's better than photorealism.
What's the puzzle?
Well, so this is early on. It's just basically teaching you the mechanic of
Oh, okay.
placing.
Put a hat on
Sorry,
thing.
yeah.
But later on, like it's only an hour and a half long. So and it's I think it's like $23 or something. It's not a crazy price, but it is a shorter game. You get introduced to these characters, and the builder's journey is kind of a father and son, or like a parental figure and child, and you're guiding the kid through the world. So you get these little yellow tiles with a single stud on them, and you have to get the kid to
Oh
the
my
parent.
god, that looks so good.
And that's like, so far I've played probably 40 minutes of it. That's the only mechanic, but it's surprising how far it goes with such a simple idea.
And this is the PC version, obviously embracing ray tracing.
Yes.
and
Just
making it
so good
It's
looking.
Wow.
It's a weird, like, it's such a weird thing that people are experiencing through this advancement in graphics, which is that essentially this is what happened when the I think the team at Lego Movie artists.
Animal Logic.
Animal Logic took
Oh,
on the
yeah.
lighting for the Lego Movie, which was essentially they went, we're not going to light it like it's a 3D object. We're going to light it like it's real plastic that's been worn out and graded and actually has texture. And by doing that, people are like, I don't know why I like watching this, but it feels tactfully like sort of like the tactile nature of it. And again, here we've seen like 3D engines render water as close as it can get. It's still uncanny valley even with water, and so it's still really pretty, but it's like, it's just, I don't know, I'm not getting a satisfaction out of it. There's something about watching plastic tiles emulated or
Yeah.
like plastic blocks, and watching Will play this earlier, and
I
actually
was just standing behind him going like, I can't believe I'm like, this is the thing I'm most impressed at.
yeah. And then add to that a really sort of clever style treatment over the whole thing. These little, I guess you'd call them
Bricks?
thank you, Will. You know, like a little model that you play.
I like little
what's the
vignette.
word? No,
Diorama.
A diorama. Thank you, Peter.
Is there a free play thing where you can just build whatever you want?
Not that I can see. It's like once you get back to the home screen, it's a level selection of all these kind of
Okay.
dioramas. So
Biomes.
yeah.
Because that's my one criticism of Lego is that it's gone down a very like prefab build this set thing route. So I would have hoped that they would have included
Sandbox.
Yeah,
Especially-
just like a sandboxy
Yeah,
kind of
especially
part.
to play in like this. Like
Yeah,
good
and especially
real-time
because
build.
it's $30 is still a lot for a game that's
I would
quite-
say that price is criminal,
Yeah.
but it's so in line with Lego that
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah,
expect
it's
it.
cheap for Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Luke Skywalker's in it, this would cost $80.
Yeah, true.
But no, it's wonderful, and like I got a second clip that you can kind of see the worlds. There's a lot of different biomes and stuff you go to, and this is one of the cases where you actually have to move the thing to find out there's bricks. that
Oh,
need-
Yeah,
like
Toad
Princess
Stone.
Tower game.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah. The
Chat, Princess Tower game
one that was in House of Cards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
by Mountain.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh no.
And it was called
Chat.
The Hat. It was called The Hat.
Chat, Princess Tower
Thank
game.
you.
It was called whatever the next thing someone
Come
says
on,
in
chat.
chat is.
It was
Come on,
called
chat.
It's called
We read it first. That doesn't
Monument
make me
Mobile
feel
game.
it.
Monument
Monument
Valley.
Monument Island, Monument Valley.
Good, thanks.
Edo Online. That's new.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you,
I knew.
Josh.
I knew it was gonna be-
Yeah, like that meets was it Toad?
Look at them all spamming it.
Yeah, Captain Toad Treasure
Captain
Track.
Toad, where it's like
Yep.
move the little diorama around.
Love
and
it.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
keen for this.
And on top of all of it, make sure you get a good set of headphones because it's like on top of the satisfaction of what you're looking at, the sound.
Oh, the little clicky
Yeah,
clack
good.
sounds.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
into this.
I love a
Good.
click.
That's real ASMR.
I love a
blocks.
clicky clack sound. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to continue the trend of awesome-looking games. Mine looks very different, but I picked up a little indie puzzler. It's very short, 90 minutes. There's only 8 levels. It's called Yinglet.
Here we
I
go.
think Ynglet, and This is one of those games where I feel like
What on this Cav?
as I was playing it, I was like, my game criticism vocabulary is failing me as to like what this game is.
Yeah, sure.
It's basically a platformer, and you play as this thing, which I'm going to say is a squid.
It looks like a bacteria or something.
Yeah, potentially.
yeah, that's the vibe I get. Like, it feels microscopic.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
it does look like a petri dish that you're going through.
Yeah. No, I can.
You're
see
an
that.
astrophage.
Except you fall, so it's like you're actually
Oh.
going
Yeah,
across a wall.
Yeah.
And you don't jump. You just have your momentum
Yeah,
that
right.
moves you, and you are safe in the shapes. And then as you push out of a shape, then you take this momentum with you and then continue.
Make fireworks.
And you basically want to, anytime you pause in a shape, a color sort of like encircles it or it squares it, and then that is your new save point. So
Yep.
when you die, you reset to that point. And the point
And you
is,
get an unlimited opportunity to do that?
yeah.
Right.
It's a very chill kind of game. It reminds me, I don't have the developer, I'll look it up right now, but the game reminds me of something that would have been made by like That Game Company or something. And this was made by Triple Topping and Nifless Games. But yeah, and then the idea is to sort of work your way through these shapes to the end of the level, and that's about it. And then each level just has its own cool, unique hook. Well, if you just skip forward like a chunk in the footage.
Super satisfying to watch.
So this level is like you have this
Ori.
like you have this jump like what did you say?
Ori.
Yeah, you have an Ori style jump, and this is all built around bouncing off platforms and jumping on these little like worm train things and moving your way through. And then, but the cool thing about it is like I got to the end of this level and I'm like, okay, there's no like thing to collect here at the end. But I can't go any further. And then there's just that little yellow thing, but nothing else. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll jump on it. And then it starts going backwards through the level and revealing all this stuff that was hidden before, that is this train that you jump from different, like, sort of like train tracks and whatever. It's just super cool.
That's almost a bit of a spoiler, really.
Yeah, a little bit. But I didn't preface it by saying
so bitterly.
I didn't preface it by saying it wasn't a spoiler. I just dropped it.
Good point.
But yeah, this is I love this. It's like 90 minutes to finish, and I think it's like $10 or something on Steam. Just super weird, unique, great audio, great visual thing.
Again, kind of Zen-like by the looks of it.
Totally, yeah. Like like no frustration, even though it
Is it
is
just
like
the front of the head that needs to get into the...
yes, yeah. The head just is the thing.
It is very spermy penetrating an egg, isn't it?
It is. It's how you wreck a
Well,
cat.
now I can't see anything else.
So yeah, but I thoroughly recommend
Seeing
this.
pregnancy at work. A lot of pregnancy.
It's very.
a lot of pregnancy.
Yeah.
Sorry, it can only go into one egg. So I'm just fine.
Don't need to
through
freeze
egg.
those eggs.
Well,
Egg.
And Will, is there any more to this clip? Like, if you jump towards the end, there's a level where they totally reverse the colors and stuff. It's just like cool looking. There's just cool stuff. It's just a cool little platformer, I suppose, is what I would call it, as close as possible. Yeah. So Yinglet, YNGLET, big fan.
Cool.
And then the other thing I played, announced at E3, I picked up the demo for A Musical Journey. And so if we could get sound on this for us as well, this one is a rhythm game that is a narrative rhythm game. So it's about the story, from what I can tell so far, the story of this band and the sort of like hook behind it, which I think is very simple but very genius, is unlike other rhythm games where you're on a track and it's when like your like the notes hit the line and then that's when you have to hit. There's no track. You actually just have to listen to the song and then basically repeat what it has played to you using, and I was using a controller. And do we have the footage? Yep. Using left and right bumpers. So you can. Oh, no, we'll leave it from here. So, yeah, so left and right bumpers. So there's left notes and right notes, and then you just hit that. And then, so here, this is like the very opening of the game, obviously, where you listen, and then it's like, so just repeat that. And you just have to get it
This is like that game that I
Admittedly.
played, the hospital one.
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember that? It was like I can't remember what
Yeah,
it's called
you had
now.
that was kind of an interesting one that had
A
put a
Link to
rhythm game into
Hospital.
not an adventure game, but a weird narrative. I think
Yeah, but it was also like you had to kind of like...
preempt the note, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, it was like there was a weird offbeat rhythm thing that you had to kind of...
That's right. Yeah.
And so with this one, there's all
Rhythm
sorts of
Doctor,
stuff
yes,
that
thank
this
you.
is doing that's really cool. Like the idea of it being a narrative rhythm game, I really like. It's like one continuous song as well, and by one continuous song, I kind of mean that it just blends into new tracks as you're weaving your way through this story, and then sometimes like it goes full screen cutscene style thing, and then it but there's no dialogue so far, and it is just, and then you just come into a new song and it introduces new like rhythm mechanics and stuff. But it is such a cool art style.
Yeah.
The music is so good. It is all like just bluesy, jazzy, funk. It's just super fucking smooth. And then there's also parts where you play the rhythm of the audience watching this band play. So like you play the shouts of them like chanting for the band to start and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
It's just so cool. So and now just jump like halfway through.
I guess what's cool is that so there is still a visual element, but there's no indicator of where you're up to in that progression. It's,
Yes.
You're doing that by ear.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
and-
Yeah, it's interesting because you technically, if you're listening to the game and you've got the idea of the rhythm of the beat or whatever, you shouldn't have to stare at a line or stare at a blip on the thing that's telling you where in the song you are. It's like you should be listening to it.
And what it did is it totally put me, unlike any other rhythm game that I've played, it put me in, and I was playing it today, in this super like flow headspace where I was sitting at my computer and I was just like totally like swaying with the rhythm of the song, because I wasn't like just keeping this eye on the thing. It was like, well, I know so these are all right notes because the shading on the circle is like heavy on the right. So you quickly look at it and you go, okay, I know these are all right notes. So at times I would like close my eyes and just like hit it because I know I had already heard that once.
Totally.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity to do that in a music rhythm game, it makes it so much easier, because when you're looking at something and trying to follow visual cues as well as audio cues, it's like it gets messed up in your brain,
Totally. Yeah.
and it's easy to just shut your eyes and feel it.
So I am.
Is that
feel it,
you?
man.
This is you?
So that guy works at like a canning plant,
Right.
But then at night he gets high. Oh, so this is actually, and this is the last. I'll sort of finish up here, but this is where you plays the crowd. But at night he gets high and listens to music, but that bird is on the can. And so you saw him canning the bird.
Yeah,
and the
right.
bird appears in his dreams and like. So
I don't think he was dreaming.
No, not dreams.
It's having a happy couch dream.
Happy couch evening.
So, and just this of like, even though it's all really simple, I was like now getting hype as the crowd, like that I'm going to hear a new song
That's
like
cool.
come up. Yeah. So I'm just like besotted with this, and I actually ended up realizing that I wouldn't be able to stop playing. So I just Alt F forward. I forced myself out of the game as opposed to like, because I kept going to quit. But because it doesn't
The music
really
keeps
stop,
going,
the
yeah.
music just keeps going. And I was like, I can't stop in the middle of a song. I'm like, oh god, the whole game is one song. So that is a musical story. I'm not sure when it is out, but I thoroughly recommend checking out
This
the demo
Steam
on
as well?
Steam. Yeah. So this was a
So much
Steam.
like great and unique art in video games now. It's so exciting. It really
No,
kind of
when you
changes
think about this and,
people's
like,
perception of what a video game is.
Sable and
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Egg.
Yeah, I mean, Egg is a great example of that. I think Egg is really a pioneer in art and game design.
Egg.
The Egg itself, I would say.
Yeah,
The
totally.
idea of like mellowed, chilled out Nick at home playing this like sitting back on the couch and like banjo stuck in the dryer. Who cares, man? It's all- it's like, I don't know. I was trying to think of something stressful that would like you'd be like.
You went to,
But also,
you would jump to child stuck in the.
yeah.
No,
That's cats. Cats get stuck in dryers.
That's what I'm thinking
it's
of.
clothes. You're thinking of clothes. Yeah.
Oh God!
Cool. So that is all the games that we've been playing. We're going to take a short break and come back with our final guest for the evening and round us out. We'll be back after this.
From God, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick from God. Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota dick, Dota
We're moving on to the hard stuff. How do you increase the fun for video games? Not drinking, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. NJ Games just bought it today. Yeah, nice. It's a damn delight. Uh-oh, guys. Guys, the camera's stuck. Pew-pew-pew. Jump into photo mode, says Grim Pixel. Let's try and run somewhere else, and maybe the camera will like rejig. How am I meant to do this? How?
Haven't you punished me enough?
How the fuck do we do that? Oh, okay.
Who was that? Do you know what she was talking about?
Die now? Violet Wind? We did it, we died. Camera reset. Do it. Do it.
Who was that? You know what she was talking about? Alright, we need another Blazon crystal.
Oh, that was so challenging. What the actual fuck game? Take the disc out and blow on it. Oh, shit.
Is your thumb chafed? Calloused? Does it hurt when you headshot the wizard from the moon? You've probably got Destiny Thumb, a condition that affects 1 out of every 1 Destiny players. Lucky there's Avexia. Just apply Avexia thrice daily to the affected area. Side effects of Avexia may include heart murmurs, heart whispers, heart shrieking, jam tongue, deep vein thrombosis, shallow vein thrombosis, elephantitis, giraffe neck, Truman Show syndrome, me, myself and Irene-itis, the quakes, the shakes, the shake and bake, the bacon snake, the snake and rake, foodborne illnesses including breech banana and chicken Caesarean salad, bulging vein, bungee mane, imposter syndrome, composter syndrome, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, beaver fever, rat bite fever and Saturday night fever, facial blindness, severe facial remembrance, alien hand syndrome, mermaid foot, and in some rare cases, Destiny Thumb. Do not take Avexia if you are also taking medication for Fortnite fungus or Dota dick.
Welcome back, and big thank you to Skirovik and Jerresh for the word from our sponsors, and of course Avexia, aka Dota Dick, for they
Just be careful. There's a lot of Dota dick out there, and you just got to be cautious.
It's very contagious.
It's very normal-sized Dota dick.
Very normal size. That's very important to remember. We are about to finish off for the night. It's been a fun evening, but before we do, we wanted to bring on our final guest now.
Right now?
Right? No, not right.
Okay, not right.
Not right. The problem with this show is you guys. And it's specifically, there are too many of you in the community. It has become wildly unmanageable. And we can't
manage you.
We just can't do it anymore. We can't handle you. We're like parents who need to drink.
We need to put you in the dryer.
We need to put you in the dryer, exactly. So
Just 1 month short of retirement.
We've been talking for a while about the idea that we needed a community manager and someone to sort of like come on board and help facilitate a lot of that communication between us and the community, us and the mods, someone who can have a more holistic approach when it comes to like social media, helping grow the show and get awareness out there, because you guys know that we do this, and then we also have our company. So anytime that we're not spending on Back Pocket, we're spending on our company, and that would normally be the time that we spend on helping grow. So we've been looking for someone to do this for a while, and we kept working with this person over the last couple of months on some Loki projects, and then they were really good, and we really liked working with them, and then like a little while ago, they contacted us and were like, hey, I could actually do this for you. And we were like, oh, yeah, that's a really good idea. And little did we know, like most wonderful workplace romances, the person we were looking for was right in front of us the whole time. And so I would like to introduce you to the new Back Pocket community manager, and that is Argan, aka Ben Argyle, our very own mod, Discord extraordinaire, super fan, and now part of the family. In the same way that we hired Will, we take the people who aren't necessarily the best, but have been here for the longest. So, Ben, welcome to the Back Pocket and Loki family.
Thank you. It's exciting. I'm very excited to do all this, and I've been following Pocket since like day one, so it's very exciting for me to be a part of it all.
Did you imagine that you would get a job by simply just sending a message to someone on Discord and going, hey, you should hire me?
No, I have crippling social anxiety, so...
well, this must be great for you right now.
Yeah, it's great. So if you told me like a year ago that this would be how I ended up getting a job, I would have told you that is batshit insane. But I did
You
it.
did
so.
put together like some pretty awesome kind of like documentation and paperwork and stuff like that to prove
There
your
was.
worth, which was very cool.
Because it was like, he was like, I reckon I would do a really good job, and here's all the reasons why I think I would be perfect for this. And then we got back to him and we were like, give us more.
And he did, and then you
Prove
guys
yourself.
read through all of it, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, also he kind of out-designed the Pockety does look good on orange. So
That's true.
He like themed the
That's true.
document, and I'm like, Ben, you've got to credit for that for like possibly changing the style treatment of the show. That's still my job, but yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Panic in your voice.
Don't replace me.
Well, it's like, we got Will.
I know.
And Gus doesn't hand over any of the edits to Will. And we got Ben now, and he won't hand over any of the design stuff.
I can do what he does.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I can build the table. Just give me time.
Don't you fucking build that table, Ben. Don't you fucking build that table. That is my thing to
All
not
right,
do it properly.
lucky for you, I'm in another state at the moment, so...
Yeah. Well, I think it's more lucky for you right now, to be honest. So we're super excited to have you. Obviously, like, you've been a huge part of the Pocket community, like you said, since day one. And I was kidding before, obviously. We think you're a fantastic choice for the job. We also love just you as a person have always been like a real source of light and energy within the community. Very reasonable and chill and friendly and approachable. Like, you're the kind of mod, and like all the mods are like this. This is not shit talking any of the other mods, but you're on camera right now, so this is raising you up a little above the other mods. To just be like such a wonderful person to be around every time we hang out with you. That we're just so excited to have you as part of the company now as well.
Thank you. It means a lot.
And so, what do you think you're going to do? Because we have no idea.
What's social media?
Yeah.
What can you bring to the job? This is not a job interview. This is,
I can tell you that Gus still doesn't understand a thing about Discord.
Yeah.
Hey,
He gets angry about it as well. He's like, "This should change," and we're like, "Would you use it?" And he's like, "No, but."
But surely no one else is happy about the way that these channels
literally
work.
not. And if Ben can change those things for me, then that'd be great.
Yeah. So basically, I approached everyone here initially and was like, I think there is a space in the community for there to be someone who is liaising between everyone and making sure that the community side of things is covered so that these guys can focus on everything else, making the show, making it good, doing all the stuff that you love. So basically, a big part of my job is going to be being in the Discord, being on social media, responding to you guys, interacting with you guys, finding out the kind of stuff you guys enjoy from Back Pocket, and kind of feeding that through to the crew, getting them all that kind of information that they need. So we can make changes on our end. We can keep doing certain things. And yeah, overall, just having a good time hanging out with everyone, which I already do. So.
And also hitting those ambitious KPIs for audience growth that you sent through on your document. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
No, but you touched on a serious point, which is that like we talk a lot on the show about things we really want to do and things we want to bring forward as part of Back Pocket, or even just like engaging with the community. And unfortunately, like a lot of the time we get distracted. We have other things to do, and it's not that we don't want to do them, or it's just we run out of time and resources. And so I think bringing you on board will be a fantastic opportunity for us to be able to focus on those things, to get a few pockets out of the way, and some other bits and bobs, while as someone like you can really embrace all those.
What are your art skills like, Ben?
Take a look at pocket.
Luckily for Gus, pretty garbage. So
yeah, good.
I think too, it's also like this has been such a learning experience for us in terms of coming from a broadcast television background. You know, I think everything that we kind of learnt initially was that there is a person who is an editor and a person who, you know, films it. There's a person who writes and a producer, and then there are forums that kind of exist, and there's a person who manages that. And then coming through and creating this show, suddenly it was like we have such a more open dialogue with our community. We're all kind of involved in this together, and that presents its own challenges in terms of making sure that everyone feels seen and heard, and that we're not kind of like dropping any balls, because we're all kind of doing a lot more, you know, ourselves. So I feel like this is a very natural next step, and it's good to have you.
And most importantly, as well, all complaints about the show will now go directly to Ben.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
No.
So we're going to spend the next week or so figuring out with Ben what exactly he's doing. But you're going to start seeing him much more in the Discord. Obviously, you see him a lot, but much more in an official capacity. And that probably means some reworking of the way that he mods to be more like a conduit between us and you guys, which sounds as though we're stepping away, but actually it means that there's going to be a much more effective flow of communication to everyone, so that, you know, like streams aren't going to be necessarily surprised, just sprung on you, even though they probably are still going to.
Mine totally will be.
Yeah, and it's not like we'll still be obviously in the Discord. It's not like we're going to be like communicating with our community.
With our propaganda master.
Yeah.
Talk to my Ben.
No. It's more just for the stuff that is kind of slipping through the cracks at the moment, I think, that we're trying to pick up the slack there.
My biggest thing when I was like talking to these guys about it was that like taking the pressure off them and like putting it on my shoulders. No, but taking the pressure off them and just like making sure that like I totally want them to keep interacting with you and doing the kind of stuff they do, but like, you know, that these guys run Back Pocket and do other stuff outside of that. So it's just like, it's making sure they can still interact with you guys and not feel like they're not living up to what they need to.
Sure. Crossbun said it best, pocket gander. Ben really is the Joseph Goebbels to the Back Pocket team. And if you have a problem with that joke, please direct all criticism towards Ben. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you very much, Ben, for coming on board. We're so excited to have you to be part of the team now as well. And that's it for our show tonight, I believe.
Sure is.
We'll say goodbye to Ben now.
Goodbye.
Oh, will we? Bye, Benjamin.
We'll just talk to you on Slack tomorrow.
Yeah, part of the team.
Cool.
Thanks, Ben.
We should send him some alcohol for show night. Yeah. It's not fair that we do all the drinking.
Ben, what's your bev of choice?
Gin.
Gin
it is.
Excellent choice. Okay.
You like fancy flowery? Okay, we'll figure this out.
We'll figure that out. We'll send you some gin.
We'll Slack. We'll be on Slack.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
Cheers, Ben.
Thanks, mate. Chat soon.
Surprise streams, though.
Please.
Gus, you will be streaming tomorrow?
Yeah, surprise. I will be hopefully finishing Ratchet & Clank as part of the Game Club. You saw the teaser in the commercial earlier. I think I've got about 2-3 hours to go in the game. Still really enjoying it, bugs aside. So the plan is tomorrow afternoon to jump on and I reckon knock it out. Maybe 2-3 more hours of that. And come along and watch the end. A little less wine probably this afternoon after the stream. We'll see how we go. If I hit another bug, I'll crack another bottle. So we'll see how we go. But it's been heaps of fun. I'm really enjoying the game. And
That is not responsible service of alcohol from my experience with rations.
I know. Serving it to anyone.
That's a lot of bottles.
Serving it
to myself.
to your throat.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully tomorrow afternoon we'll be on the Discord with a more accurate time there. But come along. I really enjoyed streaming it. Really enjoyed having you guys all there, both support and just enjoying what is a really lovely game. And then
Jerresh asked the important question, which we asked multiple times. What time are you going to start, mate?
Yeah.
What time are you going to start?
between 1 and 3.
That's the length of the stream.
Okay, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Three?
I'll build
Maybe
a table.
three
I'll
now.
build a table. 3 o'clock. I'll stream
Okay, cool.
3. Yeah,
Okay,
cool. Shake
How
hands.
how is the table going?
Moving on. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then next week, at the end of next week. Oh yes, which does mean I will have time to squeeze in a stream where I design a Ratchet and Clank and Rivet
Table.
Air high five.
Yeah.
well done. Pockety, like we did for the Resident Evil one last time. We're going to do a Ratchet, Clank, and Rivet Pockety sometime next week.
Cool.
3 o'clock next week.
Next week as well, a little change in the schedule is we've got something on Monday, so we're actually going to do the news on Tuesday morning instead of Monday.
Tuesday news.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You come to the news on Tuesday? Nothing's new on Tuesday.
News.
What's that for?
Well, that's what news literally is. New things.
Yeah. We'll have a whole nother day of news. Oh my god.
No, my fucking
No,
god.
no, really? Both
To
of you?
who? These
At the same time.
these idiots.
My brain just went dun 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 dun.
Mine went,
Oh my god! And then it was like me
Fucking
rocketing back
God.
through my entire life every
You are
time I watched the news. And being like, why do they call it that?
Oh my god. Sitting there going, why are they calling this the
High
old?
five.
We were like, oh my god, will save us.
That is appalling.
your face was like,
No, gosh, you're going to need to do that again.
sorry.
Yeah.
It was just,
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
Do that again.
Wow.
no, it's done. It gets done once.
And in
Or twice.
in more new information for everybody as well, next Friday is when we're going to do the Game Club stream as
Yep.
well. The wrap up of Ratchet and
Ratchet.
Clank.
Yes.
The special will be on next
When was
Friday.
that again?
Friday?
Great.
The second.
Yeah.
3-ish.
It's the day you specify.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I forgot, and then I haven't put it in my diary, so I just like.
Oh, right.
I'll
Okay.
put it in my diary.
I was like, this is because of you.
Yeah, no.
Cool. And then I feel like there was one other thing I was supposed to say.
Good
We've
night.
got the
stream.
Loki Pocket Watch, which is a podcast and on the YouTube channel now.
Cool.
It's the one for the most recent episode,
You
episode
adding it to
3.
your calendar right now?
Yes.
My God.
That's available as a podcast and on the YouTube channel. So
Yep.
you can check that out. Spoiler. Fucking hated this week's episode.
Yeah, this week's episode this week's episode of the Pocket Watch, very good. We spent, was that this morning?
Yeah.
That was this morning.
Yeah, that was a solid hour of getting angrier and angrier about it.
And it's very funny.
2 minutes of television.
Like, because I enjoyed last week's episode far less than both of you, so I didn't come down from a high on this
Sure.
one. I kind of just rode a little
Yeah.
bit further down, whereas you guys came from a high.
Yeah. And we said at the start, we're like, well, we didn't really love that episode, so this will be a quick one. And we're like, yeah, it's like, no, it's the other way around. When the show is shit, the podcast is...
You want to pick it apart.
We had so much more fun, like, speculating and picking it apart and theorizing better things they should have done. Whereas the better episodes earlier on, we're like, oh, here's what we liked, moving on, kind of thing.
It's so hard though, isn't it?
people
Because I
disagree
feel
in
like
the chat.
so much about like, and this was even present in WandaVision, which everyone pretty much loved, is that you spend so much time wondering about cool stuff that they're going to do with it, that then when those expectations aren't met, then it's like doubly disappointing.
Yeah.
But this sounds like it.
No,
This
well,
was
I
less
will say,
expectation.
yeah,
It's more like just awkward.
yeah. Lots of people in chat were saying that they love this episode, and I just want to say, I think that potentially some people are thinking that we didn't like the idea that this was like a slow character episode, and we would just wanted like action and explosions and that sort of stuff,
Which
And
is us to a T.
Which is us to a T. Did you see a musical story and Yinglet and Sable and that garden
Caranil.
thing? Yeah.
Lost
but
Egg 2. Let's
Lost
not
Egg
forget
2.
Lost,
the Lost Egg
Be
2, thank you very
Together.
much. But we hated this from a storytelling perspective, from a character perspective. Everything they attempt to do, they did in the worst possible way, and every single part
Save
of
it for the
character
podcast,
development
mate.
was weak.
Okay.
Chill chill out.
Yes.
Let people
Go out,
enjoy
go
it.
out on a high.
Let people enjoy
That,
it.
what it was.
That waitress.
Go out on a guy.
That waitress.
Can
that
we talk
waitress
about
we didn't
the
talk about?
The waitress was
on
a
that
problem.
Fucking waitress.
We didn't
The
talk
wa-
about it.
Let's
The
just
waitress was
channel
problem.
a guy sitting in his room listening to music and relaxing.
Your child's in the dryer.
No worry in the world.
Your
You're-
oyster.
just imagine you're an egg just bouncing through space and time.
And so we will recap the Pocket Watch episode in the upcoming post show, where we will go deep on the Pocket Watch and explaining all the stuff that you'll see in the Pocket Watch that explains all the stuff that you saw in Loki. So we got the post show coming up. A massive thank you to the mods, of course, for helping make the show possible, for helping control the animals in the community. Big thank you to all our Pocket patrons as well who make the show possible. Head to backpocket.gg to get a link to our Patreon. We are primarily Patreon supported, and let me tell you, that is the thing that is putting money in the pockets of Little Will and Big Ben, which is what I've just decided to call it. I think it totally works.
Sorry, Will's face.
So good. William, I love you so much.
So much.
So fucking much.
good.
Yeah, you are. You're like a little puppet.
And inside myself is controlling me.
And a massive thank you to our top stitchers. You know who you are, but I'll list you off here. Reese Oranishi, ! Tim, Mason, not Nathan, Slowpont, LokiCat, Raj, Akrash, Camo, Avexia, Narcotex, Boxy, Robert Boxwell, the Coastal City, Max Jazz Games, Vegabus, and A. Timothy. Speaking of one of those top stitches, it is, of course, Raj who presents the post show.
Raj, who jumped in the chat earlier and said, what the fuck is Steph doing in my chair? A pox on all your houses.
Beautiful, fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks, Raj.
And that's it. We're done for this week's episode of the Back Podcast. We will be on the Raj sponsored post show. So if you're a patron and at the appropriate tier, and you should be, head there now. The link's in the Discord in a minute. Back it out.
How shit was Loki?